We're going to go live. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Tom Papa is obviously some sort of a nicotine junkie. He's using a knife made out of a nail to scratch open the box so he can get at these cigars.
I feel like Ben Franklin used this knife to open up wine once.
Well, no, that's from the Pygmies.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they made it for me.
Look at their little handle.
My good friend Justin Wren, who's been on the podcast a few times,
right?
He's this amazing guy that he makes wells for the Pygmies. He was a former UFC fighter. Now he fights for Bellator. He's in their heavyweight division. This big teddy bear of a guy, like the fucking nicest guy you ever want to meet.
Oh yeah.
And he goes to the Congo and builds wells, and we've helped him out. We got some people to donate Bitcoin, which, by the way, is worth more money now. So what I'm going to do is take whatever it's worth now and just give it to the Congo people.
We got to wait this week.
I got to wait?
JP Morgan guy screwed it up.
He fucked up the Bitcoin?
I don't understand the Bitcoin.
I can just make it go up and down fast.
Ooh, how's that look? They look
at
good,
that.
Huh? These cigars.
It's beautiful.
They look luscious. How many people?
This is what you offer somebody right before you screw them. Joe, have a cigar.
But isn't this strange? Stop and think about this.
Yeah.
When you are buying a cigar, like let's think about the kind of people that you think of smoking cigars. I think of like a Jay-Z type character on a yacht, right?
Yeah.
Just looking out over the beautiful ocean going, I did it. I fucking did it. I mean, there's no denying I'm here.
Yeah.
You know, Jay-Z's got a fat gold rope around his neck, right?
Yeah.
And he's puffed on a cigar. He's got
drinking some champagne.
Yeah. Or maybe a nice martini or something, like a gentleman.
Yeah.
And sitting there just going, what the fuck? It doesn't get any better. This is it.
I did it.
Yeah, there it is. It was Beyonce.
Yeah.
I mean, give
Come
that
on.
man a cigar.
Absolutely.
He fucking wins.
Yeah.
He wins so hard.
And that's the beauty of the cigar is you could be in your little crappy yard smoking a cigar. You feel like that.
But here's my thought. When we associate the cigar with that guy, think about who makes a cigar. You're talking about people who live in tiny villages that get paid almost nothing, that are rolling these things together.
God bless them.
How much are they getting paid? I mean, I know there's some places in Miami where you can actually go and you can actually watch them make cigars. They'll roll up cigars. It's pretty badass.
Impressive.
But like, who is profiting from this? Like,
yeah, whoever owns the big giant tobacco company.
Right, but they need those people that roll those things.
Yeah, you do. But you know, the little guy who's rolling the things, he's just making a little living, doing his little thing. He can't build the whole tobacco company.
This is corporate Tom.
Yeah,
what it's essentially like.
He's a little worker. You need the worker bee and you need the queen bee.
Right, but isn't that person a lot like what we were talking about with stand-up? Like the comedian is the one who actually makes the product, right?
Yes.
But if the comedy clubs were getting all the money,
right,
and you were in poverty, and the comedy club was balling out of control,
yeah,
wouldn't you feel like this is bullshit?
Yes and no, because in New York, as you remember, there was a big riot. Everyone was like, "These clubs are paying us $20 a spot. They've been paying us that forever. Screw them. They make money." Blah 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 blah. And I had a hard time with it because I felt like what they're giving us in a place to go and do stand-up every night and have an audience there, the value I was getting for my act was so much more valuable than the $20 I was getting paid. I didn't care about the $20. I wanted them to give me a place where I could go work on my act and then take that to some other city or some other bigger gig, and that's where I would make my money. So you know what I mean? It wasn't purely like screw the man. The man's giving me a comedy club and has run this place for 30 years, so I can roll in on a Wednesday and have 200 people there. Well, there's certainly, I think, a different feel that you have for places that are like say if you were an Ice House comedian, you essentially have like a partnership with the Ice House. Like, I feel like I have a bit of a partnership with the Ice House. Yes. Well, you do. You sell it out. Yeah, and I love that place, and I love Bob, the guy who owns it. And I don't mean a partnership like I have an ownership in it, but I feel like I have a bit of an obligation, I think we all do, to perform at the great clubs. Just to keep them floating and to keep everybody happy and because you can and because it's good for you and it's good for me and it's good for everybody. Instead of a partnership, maybe that's not the best word.
but there's some sort of a inexorable relationship. You cannot separate them.
For sure. Like there's some cities, you know, like Hilarities in Cleveland, right? I love that club.
Amazing,
I love the owner.
Amazing place.
Nick's the greatest guy.
Great food too.
They're also they're like family. It
Good
literally
people.
is great people. I have no interest of going to Cleveland and playing a theater because if everybody comes up and jumps on Nick,
Right.
then I'd rather spend a couple days. I'll make the same money pretty much. Like that is a relationship. Like
Yeah.
we've had a relationship throughout the years. For me to jump and it seems weird,
It does.
right? But there's some
Yeah.
other places that you don't feel like that. I mean, you know, also your thing with the Ice House, it's like you say you're playing the Ice House now, and by tonight it's sold out. I mean, before tonight, and he's got a really good business going there. You know,
Well, it's also I've been able to get guys like you in there on stage, and Burr comes in a lot now.
yeah.
It's like you get people to realize like this is an amazing place to practice.
Yeah.
And the people are so cool. It's like
The best.
there's a difference in like the feel of the audience. Like LA, it's like, wow, we're at the Comedy Store. Can't
Right.
even believe it. We're in Ice House. It's like, wow, we're out to see a show. It's like there really is. Like
Yeah.
there's a different feel to it.
Totally
all.
different. Yeah, you feel like you're almost a little on
Almost
the road.
the road.
Yeah.
You know what's like that too? Oxnard.
Oxnard?
You ever done that place?
No.
Levity
Oh,
in
the new
Oxnard?
Levity? No.
Fucking amazing club. An hour outside of LA and you're on the road.
Comedy Magic, same kind of thing.
Same thing.
You
Yeah.
know? Any place where when you wake up in the morning, you're like, oh, I got to drive there. Then you know you're a little on the road.
But you know those gigs, man, they're so fucking important because you have to
Yeah.
have those shitty gigs to appreciate the nice ones.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, every gig is good.
Yeah.
Even the worst ones. But back to your cigar thing, you know, there are these little workers that are probably making $2 a day
That's the point.
rolling the stuff.
I mean, I'm just guessing. I don't really know. Maybe we're dead off, and maybe these people are like highly compensated, skilled labor.
Well, it's probably layers of it. There's probably a guy
find
who's
out.
really good at it, you know, who runs everybody, who's been there
That's
for 30
Pablo.
years. Yes, he
Watch
is,
him
Pablo.
roll, and this motherfucker could just whoosh.
Right,
Like, you
just
know
put-
dudes who could just roll joints?
Yeah.
You ever meet those guys?
Oh, so impressive.
Like a cigarette.
They slide it out their mouth.
I have no skill. I am a fucking ape-fingered retard when it comes to rolling joints.
I used
just
to be good
can't-
at it.
But I watch some people, like Tony Hinchcliffe, who can roll a fucking fat joint.
Really?
Yeah. Jamie
they
Vernon
smell
rolls,
good.
rolls a goddamn good joint.
I used to be good at it.
You know what the problem with me, man? I got one of those roller things. Those little
A little roll
machines.
machine?
Roll with the fingers. The best ones are with the fingers. There's one that I have that you could go like that. You just you put the rolling paper in, you put the weed in, and then you lick the paper, and then you just go like that. Boom, boom, and it does it all.
Really?
All by itself. Yeah, it rolls it up.
It's so advanced.
Yeah.
It's so
but
advanced.
it's so good. I'm like, I'm not rolling this by hand. What am I, an asshole?
When
What
you're
am I,
smoking by
start
yourself?
a fire with sticks and shit.
Yeah. When you're by yourself, do you roll? Or do you just take like a
I
one
buy
hit?
them already rolled
Oh, you buy them already
Yeah.
rolled.
from
Nice.
LA Speedweed for all your delivery services.
Oh, that's very nice.
When you buy them already rolled, like you don't have to think about it. I don't want to think about shit.
yeah.
But some people have the ritual.
But the ritual of that, I used to
Chopping it
love
up.
the.
Do you do it on an album?
I used to when they had albums.
What has replaced the album for rolling weed on?
And then it went to CD cover. You would do it on a CD cover.
cover.
And now
Some people use those actual weed theme trays. That seems kind of corny to me.
Yeah.
I feel like you should steal some shit from a cafeteria. Right?
yeah, have like a Pirates of the Caribbean like ornate little tray.
You know what you should have, man? You should get one of them aluminum ones from prison because you're in a prison of your own mind, man. That would be actually kind of badass. A real like standard issue aluminum prison tray for weed.
Yeah, comes with fake mashed potatoes.
You're in a prison of your own mind, man.
Man, you gotta free your mind. Do you have a cutter?
I do not. Oh yeah, no, I do.
I could chew it off.
No, don't.
When I think about the cigar, though, I don't think of Jay-Z so much as like It's a Wonderful Life, like the banker in It's a Wonderful Life.
We had a box with the cutter in it and some other bullshit. Did I bring that in?
I could bite it off.
Is that over there? Don't. If you bite it off, though, I feel like it's one of those things.
When I started out of school, I worked in advertising for a little while, and I used to have to go to this nursing home. It was small advertising, and we would go to a nursing home, and we would do all the ad campaigned for this guy who owned like 5 nursing homes. He was a
Right.
really rich guy, and he looked a little like a frog. He was like an older guy. He came up in the war, and he used to, first he started with trucks. Now he owns nursing homes, and he was just like an old school guy, big glasses.
Right.
And he always had a cigar all day long. He'd walk around with a cigar in his mouth, just chomping on it, not
Right.
lit. He would just chomp it, and it would be like kind of scuzzy at the end. But then eventually, no cutter, at the end, he'd been chewing it so long, he'd just spit it out and then light it up. Yeah.
What a weirdo. Can't find it. Don't worry about it, Jamie. It might be in the other
I can
room.
bite it off. Don't
I feel
worry
like
about
it's
it.
in the kitchen.
I'm
But I
doing
might
it
be wrong.
already.
Yeah, we'll just bite it off. Just go old school.
Yeah.
Old school Bugsy Shingle type.
We do feel like a big shot with a cigar. Why is that?
I don't know. In the box.
Why do you feel like a big shot?
Maybe.
I don't know. I feel gross spitting it out, too.
I know. Here's a tissue.
There's a gang of weed in there, son. Yeah, but Jamie, can we find out whether or not cigar rollers are
Abused.
and underpaid? Cigar industry's going to be pissed at us now.
I'm sure.
It's a weird thing, right? It's like a cigar is like a thing,
It's affluent.
right? But it's also like a guy thing or
Yes.
a chick who can hang thing. Bro, she smokes cigars. I mean, come on. You see a girl with like an open blouse, like wearing glasses, like smoking a cigar with like
With a men's
baseball
Rolex.
hat on.
Yeah.
Like a fucking Dodgers hat on.
Yes.
You know?
Screaming facts about the Broncos.
Yeah, with like those cheerleader type socks. To go all the way up to her knees. No shoes on.
That girl's fun to hang with one night,
Yeah.
but you don't want that girl for the long haul.
Well, she's a sprinter.
You're right.
You know,
yeah,
you don't-
exactly.
You want to you want to date a marathon runner.
Yeah.
You want to date an ultra marathon runner. Someone who's just slow and steady, and they just keep that pace, and they will not quit.
Yeah. Arms in tight, just
Eddie-
go in little steps.
Chick with no underwear on and sweat socks with your shirt on, and she's smoking a cigar. Like, okay,
Yeah. All right. You're not coming to Thanksgiving.
this is. I don't think this is gonna make it. This one's not gonna make
Yeah,
it. This
you're
one's
not-
gonna be fun for a little while, but it's like a roller coaster. Would you want to ride a roller coaster 8 hours a day for the rest of your life?
Right, exactly.
No.
You'll be nauseous all the time.
Yeah, I mean that's the function that crazy people have in your life. They're valuable, but you don't want to be around them constantly.
No, a hell of
They're
a lot of
exhausting.
fun. No, you
Yeah.
pack up the car and go visit once in a while, and that's it.
Yeah, crazy people are exhausting, man.
Totally exhausting. I went with this crazy girl once, and it went on longer than it should. And she was intensely fun. I mean, crazy, just, insane. Everything about her was fun and insane.
Yeah.
And I stayed in too long. And by the end of it, I was like, you gotta go. I was almost in tears. I was like, you gotta get out of here. I can't live like this. Because it wasn't just the crazy fun drama. It was like they directed at you at a certain point, and they wanted to put the crazy on you and analyze and fight and do all that stuff.
Well, some people definitely want to fight.
I can't live with fight. I'm
well,
not
some
a
people,
fighter.
I'm not either. Some people think that you're supposed to. That's how a relationship's supposed to be. Mm-mm. Like if you're not fighting, that you're somehow or another you don't care about each other. Because if you care, you get upset. It's a very weird sort of dynamic, the man-woman relationship dynamic of things that people think you should and shouldn't expect.
Right.
The way people behave or don't behave, the way they talk to you or don't talk to you. Like,
Yeah.
it's very it's weird. It's
As
like,
if it's all the same,
yeah,
too.
if any friendship is the same. Yeah, don't let people be mean to you. Don't let them fucking beat you down, yell shit at you. But,
Right, yeah. But some people, like, if you grow up in a home that fights all the time,
Yeah.
you get used to that, and then
Yeah.
it's not a big deal. Like this girl would fight, scream and yell at, and like as soon as it was done, she'd be fine. Just like have some coffee and just like sit there, and I'd be shaking, like, oh my god, why did she say that?
Oh my god.
I am not good with that kind of tension. Not at all.
Yeah, I used to date this girl who would get really mad, and want to fight, and then once there was some sort of resolution, she would immediately turn docile. It was very odd. It was like she'd be aggressive to like start some sort of altercation, but you could calm the altercation down. You could
Right.
shut it down.
Yeah.
But you had to almost shut it down by just saying, oh, "You're not going to do this. I'm not going to talk like this. Like this is
Like a
stupid."
child.
Yeah, and I was young, so I needed to learn like how to talk to people,
Right.
like or how to manage situations. Like sometimes like something's happening between two people, like you're upset about something, and instead of thinking about how you're conveying your thought to them, all you think of is what you want to happen. You know,
Right.
I want you to shut the fuck up.
Right. Yeah.
I know. Like, even though you want someone to shut the fuck up, the problem is when you say that,
Yeah.
you're not really thinking about communicating with them like through their eyes. Like
No.
nobody wants anyone to say shut the fuck up, but we say it because we want people to shut the fuck up.
Yeah, and you can't deal with.
Yeah.
I'm not. Yeah. At a
So it's
certain,
yeah,
At a
it's-
certain point, you don't care what their needs are. You just
Yeah.
want them to stop.
Well, it's also like when people want people to do things, or they want people. There's like
Yeah.
the mindset of you wanting a result. You want someone to behave a certain way instead of thinking about them as like your equal, like just another human being. And instead of thinking like I have to get what I want, like what is it that you want? Okay, what happened here? Like why are we at
that's
this
the- I find like
impasse?
getting older, that thing I'm more aware of. That big part of not thinking about you all the time.
Yeah.
You're always thinking, especially when you're young and you're like coming up and you're doing. It's just me, because you're just trying to survive. You're trying to figure. You don't even know what you want. When you shut that part down and think about the person across from you,
Yeah.
it opens up the whole world. But it's a difficult thing to learn,
It's also-
especially when you're young.
Contradictory to success, like you think, but not. Like it's like if
Yeah.
you think it's like if you don't think about yourself, no one will. You know, there's that kind of thought process.
Right.
Just get really good at shit. You know, and
Yeah.
the best way. Here's the ironic thing. One of the best ways to get really good at shit.
Yeah.
Is shutting that voice down.
Yeah.
Because shut it down, especially anything
voice?
creative.
The voice.
That voice, like me. I
Right.
want this and I want that, and I want people to listen to me.
Right.
Shut that thing down.
Yeah.
The more you can shut that thing down, and the more whatever you do, you concentrate on it.
Going to work.
And nobody does it perfect. Nobody does it perfect.
Well, it's not only that they don't do it perfect, it's that you have to constantly reteach yourself that. You have to constantly bring yourself back.
That's huge.
Bring yourself back. It's a trick. It's an ongoing exercise.
It really is. And that's why it's like I was watching this interview with Nate Diaz, this UFC fighter. He's hilarious. And Nate was talking about watching himself on The Ultimate Fighter from 10 years ago. And he's like, please shut that shit off.
Yeah.
He goes, anybody watch a video of yourself from 10 years ago? And you'd be like, shut that shit up.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, he's so right.
Yeah.
That's such an obvious thing. Like, nobody likes to see themselves
Yeah.
from a long time ago because we're all a work in progress. Everybody is.
But when you were in that moment, when that video was taken of you, you thought you had it going on. You thought you were doing it, right?
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, right now, we think we're in the moment like we're doing fine. But if you were to look back at this, there'd be something wrong.
I'm upset that the cigar has 2 bands. I feel like
I took the first band off
I feel like the
immediately.
cigar can go fuck itself because of that.
It's too fancy.
This is outrageous.
I am really
you don't
enjoying
need 2
it, though.
bands. How about you take the money from one of these bands and pay those dudes to roll this motherfucker?
You're such a socialist.
I'm turning commie as I get old. Something's happening.
Are you?
I'm shifting.
Are you shifting?
Yeah. You know what I shift towards lately more than anything is like kindness to our fellow humans.
That is the exact word I have been using all month. Act out of kindness.
Yeah.
Politicians, people, grocers, my family, just be kind. Just be kind.
Yeah, and I think the more we recognize that, the more we see evidence of that, even in an idea, even in like groups or chunks of people that share our mindset on other things, and we don't want to call it. We don't want to call them out on it.
Right.
Like, say if you're a Republican and there's like some Republican candidate or something that's running for president, but they're really shady in one way, or they're corrupt or what, and you don't want to talk about it because it's a part of your party.
Yeah.
Right.
That's insane.
You can't. Yeah. Tribalism inside our own civilization is fucking bananas.
I feel like that's like the most disturbing thing of all the discourse now is that people are so entrenched in these teams.
Yeah.
You're a sucker if you're that in on any of these teams. no team is like you've got to flow.
Do you
You've
think
gotta-
that's because people are scared, and so they feel more comfort in being a part of like some rigid team, like say if you're a right. That's what I see in like a lot of these white supremacists.
Yeah.
I see fear.
Yeah.
These guys are walking and they're holding these flags and these torches and they're yelling things.
Yeah.
I see fear.
Yeah.
I really do. I
Yeah.
see that's a big part of what it is.
Yeah, they're
Fear.
coming for me. They're
Yeah.
coming for us. They're pushing us out.
We're supposed to all be the same thing. We look different. Jesus Christ, that's it?
I know.
And all the other differences that we have, like left and right and ideologies and
It's like, how can you be all in
Yeah,
on any
on
political
yeah.
organization? Like, how can you? How?
I'm
It's
all in on
blind
weed.
faith. It's just like, what's that?
I'm all in on weed.
Well, all right, team weed you can go for. I'll go team
Yeah, how
cigar.
can you? How can you
I
be?
really don't understand it. Like, you really have. And what's really upsetting about it is it goes completely against what we're talking about of
Yeah.
listening to the other person, like really listening to them.
Yeah.
There's a guy on my block, older guy. He's retired. He's got his little dog. He walks his little dog every day. And he always, hey, we've only been there a couple of years. Good morning, Tom. Good morning, Bob. And he just walks with his dog, and he's just like this nice. He's the guy he's in my movie of my life. He's
Right.
the extra that walks the guy.
Right.
My wife saw that he had a Trump poster in his garage, and my wife was all in on Hillary. She was like, I don't think I can I can talk to him. I was like, yes, you can. That doesn't mean any. So what? So that's what he
Yeah.
went for and did it.
So what?
He's Bob, the guy with the dog.
Yeah.
He's a loving person who really is excited to see us and our children and our dog in the morning. Stop using that thing, this one isolated thing,
Yeah.
as a marker for whether or not this person can enter your life in any way.
The only way you should is if that person is trying to force that on you and make you believe what they believe.
Right.
And if you don't support Trump, then they hate you. And then it becomes, it's virtually interchangeable with religion.
Yeah.
Right? Like if your next door neighbor's a Jew and the guy on the other side of you is a Baptist and you're an atheist, there's no reason why you can't all be great friends.
Yeah.
Great friends.
Yeah, hang out.
Just like, hey, what's up? You guys want to come over? We're going to
Yeah.
do some hot dogs or whatever?
Right, exactly.
They're kosher?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, who gives a shit?
Who gives a shit?
Who gives a shit?
And isn't it more effective if you are really politically minded and really want you really love Hillary and you love what she stood for and you want that? Isn't it more effective to invite this guy into your life and let him see that he has a lot more in common with this liberal family at the end of the block than putting up walls and keeping him out?
I think that people were given a real disservice by being forced to choose only on one side or the other. One of them's Donald Trump and the other one is Hillary Clinton. This like hustle system that they put together of a two-party system is the reason why it's so difficult, because a party has to choose a candidate. You have to vote in the primaries, so you have to be registered. Not that many people are. When you think about the actual numbers of people that vote in the primaries, it's a fraction of the people that vote in the general election, right?
And that's a fraction of the population.
Yeah. And so if you're forced to choose between like this really lackluster candidate and people say, oh, she had all this experience, regardless of what you think about Hillary, whether you supported her or not, you'd have to look at it objectively and say, well, she's a deeply flawed candidate. I mean, she had a lot of issues. There's a lot of credibility issues. She didn't support gay marriage until 2013. That was one of my big red flags.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, why do you care?
Right.
Like, why do you care? Like, if you really care, if you really think
Really believe.
that gay people shouldn't have the same rights in terms of like bonding in a relationship than a straight person, well, that's a crazy person's idea.
Right.
Like, what do you give a shit?
Right.
That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
What is
And
is
why-
it? There's no proof that marriage is putting this gigantic burden on us financially.
Yeah, and
And
why
in
do
fact-
you what do you care about how these people live? Why
Exactly.
why is it just
So-
leave them be?
So
be
that,
kind.
that
be
was
kind.
a big one to me. And then, like, when you hear the difference between what Comey said about the investigation and what the results were versus what she said, like, there's a video where it plays it back to back where she says that
Yeah.
everything was fine and everything was no big deal, and he's like, it's a fucking huge deal. And they like, she would say that, you know, there was no evidence of this, and he said there was evidence of this in multiple occasions. And it's like, you look at the two of them back to back, you go, what the fuck, man?
Yeah.
And people got mad at me for making a big deal out of that. Like, there's a lot of people that say, hey, man, you know, you're partially responsible, and people like you for pointing out all this Hillary Clinton shit. Like,
Right.
no, we're talking about reality. We're not responsible for reality sucking.
Well, it comes down...
But the idea is the opposite is don't talk about it at all.
Right, and pretend it doesn't exist.
Pretend it doesn't exist.
And that's the problem with all these people being pit against each other, that you can't see the other side and have a little bit of flow. I feel like it also has become this, it's almost like news is entertainment now. When we watch, 24-hour news programs and stuff, it's like rooting for the Bears or rooting for the Steelers. You know what I mean? Like, it's become this passionate, sport, entertaining sport. It's kind of, it's kind of upsetting. I mean, it's very upsetting.
Like guys like that Sean Hannity guy.
Yeah.
How is that guy any more different than a local football broadcaster who's really excited about the Patriots?
Loves his
kicking
team.
ass this season.
Oh my God, it's going to be great.
They're not going to be stopped.
Oh
the
man,
Patriots,
they say what they want about Brady. He didn't deflate those balls. It's completely,
He's like a fucking rah Republican character.
That right.
Just like almost like a football guy.
100%. Literally,
you know he's all in.
He's all in.
Whatever the fuck the Republican point is, he's all in.
Yeah, and you're not going to convince him to like the New York Giants. He's a Patriots guy. That's just the way it goes. But I really feel like you got to go through life, and rather than thinking about, and I don't want to be too preachy, but not to be, you shouldn't be going by my party. You should be going by the acts of these people.
Yes.
So everybody's like, so you can hate that Pruitt is going after public lands and rolling back all this EPA stuff, and then you see Trump make a deal yesterday with Pelosi and Schumer saying we're going to try and make sure that these DACA kids are allowed to stay.
Right.
It threw everybody like, wait, what? But I still have to hate him. But Nancy Pelosi's in his office making a deal with him. Well, that's how you should act. It should be, he should be allowed to do something kind. He should be allowed to, you should be allowed to call him out when he does something shitty.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be just this blanket, I love the guy no matter what.
Well, someone said, and I forget who it was. I forget who the person was that had this idea. But the idea was that one of the good things about Trump would be that he is concerned with public opinion. And so if he floats an idea out there and it's not popular or it's really damaging public opinion of him, he'll take a second look at it, which is a very non-politician-like thing to do. And people point to terrible things that he's done in the past almost as like evidence that he can't evolve. Like evidence that he's a sociopath. Well, we're fucking doomed if that's the case. We're doomed
with human beings and
with human beings in general.
In general, right?
And we're doomed. I mean, if you can't learn at 70, is it over? Like, there's a difference. Like when you're 20, you can figure things out.
Yeah.
When you're 30, I'm better than I was when I was 20.
Right.
Right. But when you get to 70, no.
Then there's
no learning.
Yeah, there's no more learning.
Even in like a super extreme scenario, like being the president of the free world.
Right. Yeah, it's terrifying.
I mean, he's the leader of the free world.
Yeah, at 70.
At 70. And with a bunch of people that hate him. And then talking about like shipping immigrant kids back. Like there's people that were born here when they were 2.
No,
or they were brought here rather when they were 2.
Yeah,
they were born in another country. They don't know the other country at all, and they'll send them back to it.
It's crazy.
It's scary.
It's very scary.
It's scary because it's not. There's no empathy to that. Like these people.
No terror.
It's one thing if someone is some sort of a dangerous criminal. Well, if that's the case, they should be in fucking jail. That's what jail's for.
Right. Of course.
So why would you just set them free in Mexico? That sounds crazy.
And we have this girl in our life who was born here. She was part of that and has since gotten her citizenship, so she was safe. But just recently. So as soon as they came in and started saying we might send them back, it was like terror.
Horrible.
She was like hiding in our house. Like, can I just sleep here? She was so nervous just to sleep in her little apartment somewhere because she thought they were going to come and get her.
Dude, a friend of mine is a contractor, and he went to Home Depot. And he's in Home Depot. He gets out of his car, and these ICE guys. I mean, this guy is distinguished looking, a handsome man.
Yeah.
In his 50s.
Right.
And speaks perfect English.
Uh-huh.
They flash their fucking badges. He makes them. Shows. The first they just said you have to. And he goes, listen.
Just came up to him in the parking lot?
He goes, listen, dumbass. He's former military. He's like, I told him. He goes, I was in the military. Like, you guys can't just do
Jeez.
this. This is not something you do. You don't just come up to someone and ask, where were you born?
Is that what that's how they
They
led
came up
it?
to him, where are you born? Show me your ID.
Oh my God.
And he was like, what the fuck are you guys doing? He goes, I'm going to show you my military ID. Okay, here you go. Now, here's my ID. Okay,
Right.
now, what the fuck are you guys doing? You can't do this. He's like, this
Yeah.
is totally illegal.
That's insane.
Just grabbing people out of their cars for
Just
no reason.
walking about
Where
your
you-
life.
Looking brown, bro. You're looking pretty brown over there, bro.
See, that's not kind.
Looking brown, bro. Where you born?
That's
They
insane.
asked him where he was born.
That's
where,
so crazy. He
as if
served
you
in
have
our
any-
military.
Exactly. Like,
That's
you have any
insane.
fucking control. First of all, he's born in America.
Well, he was.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah,
But he has to prove
But
that.
he has to prove it
Oh
because
my
he's
God.
brown. But just ask him where did your parents have you? It's the one thing that you cannot control.
I know.
Right?
Well,
in
that,
a nation of immigrants,
don't you think? I mean, that right? Exactly. We right.
we wouldn't be anything without
No.
immigration.
My parents' weren't born here.
Exactly. Native Americans
Yeah.
are the only ones who were legitimately here long enough to claim it. Even
Right.
they came across the fucking Bering Land Bridge
Right.
from Asia.
Right
so
before
it's
it split
nobody's.
off. I
It's
know.
nobody's spot.
It's nobody's.
So you fucking assholes.
Yeah.
Just taking a brown guy
Right.
out of his Subaru.
I'm sure if you took those guys, those officials, they have to have the same story. We all came
So
from somewhere
crazy.
else. I know. It's insane.
So crazy. This guy's not doing a crime. Like, you're just assuming that he's some sort of an illegal immigrant
Yeah.
because he's at Home Depot. He needed paint, you fuck.
I know.
You know?
He fixes things himself.
He's a fucking contractor,
He
you
can't be an
cunt.
American.
Oh, it's so
we just throw our
weird.
shit out. He's
That's-
going to fix his TV.
All right, if that's not, is that racial profiling or is that racist? I
Both.
feel like it's more racist.
I think it's more racist because, look, racist really means that you are using power to put people down for their race. I mean, we
Yes.
say racist is just saying something shitty about somebody. It's not really. It's when you really have power over people and use that.
Yeah.
And that's what that is.
Oh yeah, 100%. And it's like a target. And here's the thing, man. Maybe he's right 30% of the time that he does this. Maybe that cop does that all the time and catches these guys that are there that are illegal immigrants and they're just there to try to hustle and work on people's houses. Like,
That's why we have laws. It's like
exactly.
if the guy
But here's the thing, it's a wasted resource unless they're criminals.
right.
Unless they're criminals. All there are people who were fucked.
Right.
Fucked at birth. At birth.
At birth.
At
Just
birth.
because of where they came. Right. Yeah.
They're stuck in some poor country and they figure out a way to get across the border illegally.
Can you
to
imagine?
work.
Can you imagine how desperate people must be in these other countries that as a father, you would tell your kids, go with this man and hopefully get over to that other country for a better life. Could you imagine how desperate you would have to be to tell your children, go? That is a desperate, desperate situation, and
It
it
is.
just is a roll of the dice that you were born 50 miles that way.
Or like my friend Justin, who makes these wells for people in the Congo. The well, just having fresh water,
Yeah.
changes their life. The one thing that we absolutely take for granted.
Yeah.
They give it away free at restaurants.
Yeah,
The
exactly.
thing that we give away to everybody for free is
Yeah.
the thing that changes their life in the Congo. A fresh, clean glass of water.
Is that
to
amazing?
Us, it's nothing.
Nothing.
It's everything. You clean your asshole with it with one of those Japanese toilets. You have one of those?
I
You have one
do.
of those?
Oh, it's the best.
They're the best.
I moved into a house. We didn't know what it was,
Ooh.
and we were just looking around. And we walk into the bathroom, and the lid opened.
Oh, when it sees you, it's one of those.
Oh
Ooh,
yeah,
next level.
and the seat is warm. Oh, it's heaven.
It is. It's almost sexual. I mean, because that warm water's shooting into your asshole. And here's the thing: there's only an on-off button. There's no timer. It doesn't go, "Hey, fucker,
No.
enough, you creep." How many people are just sitting there with water shooting out of their asshole, stroking their shaft? I mean, it must be like the #1 tool for masturbation.
And everybody around the world does it, but
Yeah.
but Americans, it's not it, right? The
we're
bidet is
gross.
not a main thing in America.
What we prefer to do is chop down trees and make a fine paper out of that we smear shit all over our asshole with.
God.
That's
then
the
walk
standard.
and then walk about your day.
Yeah, with fecal matter all over the fucking room. I mean, we could radically cut down on the amount of fecal matter available if we just had jets of water that clean our asshole like the rest of the world.
Right, just fly it out.
But the rest of the world, they do that bidet thing, which is awkward. It's like the most unergonomic thing ever created.
Well, those tubes and those
metal pipe thing is right where your asshole goes, and there's nowhere to sit.
It seems much nastier.
Oh,
the first time you
gross.
walk into a hotel and saw that as a kid, you're like, what the
hey.
hell? I don't care if I'm cleaner. I'm not doing that.
I was in a hotel in New York City. I forgot the hotel, but they had some crazy setup where there was not just a bidet, but they had two fucking hoses, one on either side of the bowl.
In that hard metal.
So you got a bidet over here, and then you got a bath with these two fucking car wash hoses
Oh my God.
that are right next to the toilet.
How clean do you have to be?
But it's like, I mean, you just shoot water everywhere while you're shitting. Like, what are you doing with those two?
What are you doing in there?
It's like one the right hand and one the left hand. And you
why?
I don't like cleaning my asshole with my right hand.
Can't do it.
And I have to
Gotta
reach
go
over here and
left.
grab this and strangle myself as I clean my butt. I'm not.
I keep
What?
my phone.
So I looked this up when that happened. I remember that. And
Yeah?
The answer, I don't know if it's even better than the bidet. It's to clean the shit off the inside of the toilet.
That many? No.
One of them is. That's why it's so hard.
Double hose,
It's
bro.
like to keep it clean the whole time.
What if you get the
I don't
wrong
know
one?
what
It
the
blows
second
your
one. Yeah, I
nutsack
don't know what the
apart.
second one's for, but that's what one of them is for.
Really?
Yeah.
That seems
You know
so.
what?
What's a shitty way to do it? Pardon my pun.
These people are eating the wrong foods.
Yeah, what kind of shits are
Heavy
you
ashtray.
taking? Yeah.
Thank you.
You guys are monsters.
Would you ever have you ever thought about going to other countries and doing volunteer work?
Whoa, put that back. What is that?
This came out yesterday or the day before. You guys talking about shit.
140 town fatberg.
Ton.
140 ton. Oh my God. Fatberg has been discovered under the streets of London. What does that mean?
It's oil, fat, tampons, wet wipes, diapers.
Oh, it's a.
And it's stuck in this. It's like concrete now. They said it's stuck in this pipe.
Oh my
Look
God.
at this.
420
a fatberg the
pounds.
size of 2 football pitches. Is that mainly a soccer?
Yeah, it's 120
stadium?
feet.
It looks like the globe.
Is that bigger or shorter than American football?
I think it's a little longer.
Of course it is.
And wider.
Was found in London sewers. Jesus Christ! And is it blocking something? Is
Yeah,
that
I
what the
think
deal
it's
is?
blocking shit now. So
Oh
they
my
gotta
God.
What do they
figure out how
gotta
to get
do?
rid of it. I don't know. It's blocking a
Oh
big section
my
of concrete
God.
or the pipes under there.
Holy shit! Makes sense.
Ay.
That is like the ultimate clogged drain.
This is so nasty.
That's what it is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly.
No plungers getting that out.
Did I ever show you the picture of the tree that was growing in my toilet pipe? The
No.
shit tree?
No.
Dude, I was having a problem. And my toilet wouldn't flush correctly.
Uh-huh.
So I had a fella come over to take care of it, and he said, dude, he goes, look at that. That's an actual picture of the thing that was in my bathroom.
What is it?
That is a tree that's roots got into a small crack in the water pipe.
This
because
happened
they
to me in a
grow
way.
and they continue to grow where the pipe is, and they crack it. And once they crack it, something goes inside, and then it grows where the water is. All up the pipe. So the pipe was clogged with like a tree. It looked like an animal.
Oh my God, it's disgusting. So for years you were you thought it was going that right out of the pipe, and
This
it was.
shows you what I'm eating is super healthy.
Oh my God, you're literally shooting trees.
Yeah, all the vitamins that come out in my piss, like my piss is always a bright orange.
It's the
because I
happiest.
take so many vitamins.
It's the happiest root I ever
That
saw.
root went hog wild. It's like almost proof that what I'm doing.
It's like Little Shop of Horrors. Like, feed me, Joe.
I don't think I was. Yeah.
Wow.
I don't think I was eating wild game back then either. I wonder what it would look like now.
It was happier in your toilet than it was out in nature.
What if you change your diet and it turned different colors? Like what if it's like it's only growing that color because of that? If you shit in it, maybe with like like a high beet concentrate diet,
That's so big it looks like it has a personality.
probably does.
Like,
It's
it really-
probably telling the rest of the trees, get in here, bro.
I'm so happy. Did you hear
Found the
about
fountain
Don?
of nutrients. There's water and shit. You're
Don-
gonna love it. Wait a minute, in a pipe? Yeah. You live in a stew of water and shit, and they keep dropping shit on you every day, and you absorb it. No way.
You live there?
Yeah, bro. There's no dirt. It's just water and shit.
And they let you live there? No, he has no idea I'm there.
Bro, I'm telling you, dirt sucks. Fuck dirt. What you need to do is grow in a shit pipe. Fuck, dude. That sounds amazing.
A shit pipe.
Growing in a shit pipe for a tree is like being Jay-Z with a cigar for a regular person. Sitting on a yacht.
So happy.
He found the shit pipe.
He's just in the pipe.
Bro, he's out there hustling. He made his way up the shit pipe. You hear about Harry? Yeah, bro. He worked at that fucking pipe for years, man. You gotta admit, the dude put his time in. All right, there's a lot of weeds out there that are complaining about Harry, but these fuckers, they grow real fast and then they just stay the same size. They're not hustlers. Okay?
I don't know.
They don't have the long game like Harry.
I don't know. Harry seems happy, but could he be? I mean, I would miss the sun. Personally, I'd miss the sunshine.
You say that, okay? But Harry's mostly a root, all right?
Yeah,
and
true.
he could be out there in the dirt and occasionally peek up a little.
Good point.
You know those sad roots that have the story of to the rest of the root system? Like they're up above.
Yeah.
And the rest of the roots like, what's going on up there? Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. A deer's coming.
I'm making a break for it.
A deer's gonna eat the little saplings. Shut the fuck up.
I miss Harry.
Yeah, Harry was a hustler. Harry is the Jay-Z of tree roots.
Dude, did you hear? Harry got busted. What? Yeah, this plumber came in.
Oh, he got ambitious.
They ripped him out.
He got too big.
He got too big.
I was telling him, you gotta stay small. You get too big, you fucking selling keys every day, and that's when they come for you.
It's behind the music all over again.
It is.
That is terrible.
It is behind the music. God damn it, you're right. Harry got too big.
I would
He's a goddamn Bad Company song.
Yeah, he got.
Harry was a schoolboy when he heard his first Beatles song.
When you see what's going on around the world in these horrible places,
Yeah.
My daughters have friends, and in the summer, their parents take them to Haiti or someplace, and they work for a week or two, helping build these places. And it's not. I was like, this is just like a white, I'm feeling good about myself, kind of a thing. You know what I mean? And then I go back home and the
fucking
beautiful
white people, man.
That kind of, but they really do need the help. Like they really honestly benefit from people coming down and helping them and bringing supplies and stuff. Do you have any desire to do that? Like you're a pygmy guy?
Yeah, I'd have to really think that one through, man. I think my best method of helping is just talking shit about it.
Yeah, you're good at it.
Yeah, I mean, donating money.
Yeah,
but I don't know about
getting a
going
hammer
and
go sleeping on a.
I don't know if that's the most effective thing for me.
Yeah,
maybe that's just a cop out on my part.
I don't know. I feel like I should do it once.
You know what I think the real issue with all these different places is?
Mm-hmm.
They don't there's only so much access to growth in certain places.
Right.
And we think of life as being growth oriented, especially in this country.
Yeah.
In this country, we think of life not as do you have enough to eat? Do you have friends around you that you care about? Are you having a good time? We don't think about it that way.
Right.
We think about it as, are you constantly moving forward? Are you out of the clubs now? You
right.
Doing the theaters, Tom Papa?
Yeah.
Oh, good. I heard you guys bought a new house. Yeah, Marina Del Rey.
Right. Yeah, you're always moving.
Yeah, you're always moving. You're moving up. Moving up. Always going forward. Whereas that is just how we mark success.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas in a lot of cultures, that's not even a part of life. There is no moving up. You can get a job and you can work and you're part of this community.
Yeah.
You do whatever you do, whether you're a fisherman or whether you're a carpenter or whatever you do.
Yeah.
But that's it.
You just live that life.
And so that's their idea of what life is. Now, our idea of life is, get a nice car, get a nice house, get a big TV. But what if there's something past that? Right?
Mm-hmm.
What if some new thing comes along that makes this idea completely fucking ridiculous? No. You get enough credit so you can plug into the Matrix.
Right.
And then we start thinking like that. With this idea that the only way your life could ever be good is if you get a nice new laptop.
Right.
Or get or you live in a nice community.
Yeah.
That seems a little weird because really it's just life. Right?
Yeah. No, I know. I mean, the bigger, and then you accumulate more. The problem with it is that you accumulate more things.
Yes.
And then you're still in that vulnerable feeling now I got to pay for this and move forward and get, like you say, get more. Like then you're with your friend on his private jet and you're like, oh well, I don't have that. I guess I have to keep working.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. And then this guy has a yacht. Oh my God, he's got a yacht. He's got a 59-foot yacht. This isn't even big. What's big? Like
120 foot.
What's a good size yacht?
Connor put this up the other day. This yacht pulled up behind him when he was like hanging out wherever he is. But
That's
like,
a yacht?
I started thinking about the problems you would have if you had this yacht. Like, you got to have a security team because someone's. I'll show you how big it is too.
Oh my God, that
Someone's
looks like
gonna
the
steal
Death
it?
Star.
Like it's got openings on the side for your
Jesus.
jet skis and boats.
A
Smaller boats.
whole boat can go inside the yacht on
Jesus
the side of the yacht.
Christ.
Like the problems you would have if you had this yacht would be even crazier. I don't know.
Oh my
whose it is.
God, look at
Where
that.
is this?
I don't
It's like a
know,
space
Ibiza, I
yacht.
think is where he is. Maybe something like that.
Ibiza?
Yeah.
That's
you know how
amazing.
they say it? They say
Ibiza.
Ibiza. What is that? That's silly. Tell them to put a TH on that bitch.
No, there's
That yacht's incredible, man.
It's crazy. Yeah, but what's enough? I guess is the thing.
Look at
Like,
that thing, man.
$360 million yacht. He said.
Jesus Christ. What? $360 million yacht.
Wow.
Fucking A, man. That's when you're balling.
See,
Even
what are we doing
Jay-Z
wrong that we don't
Jay-Z's
have that?
Sitting back with a cigar going, we gotta sell more records. We gotta bring back record sales. It's the only way. We looked at the books. These live concerts just can't do it. It's just not enough money to charge for tickets. I need $390 million to get a slightly larger yacht with a diamond encrusted anchor.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And a crew that will lower it and wipe it off, wipe all the water off when we pull it out of the water.
A crew of hot white chicks with big asses. It's the only buddy who works there.
Yeah.
No, they don't hire any like third world help. It's
Do you-
all hot white chicks.
Do you think it's a sickness that we have to keep racing, or do you feel like it's healthy? I feel like it keeps you making stuff and keeps you, creating and doing things.
It can be either or, right?
Right.
I mean, it can be a good thing because people who aren't ambitious and don't get things done a lot of times. We all know like lazy guys, and they're sometimes their family can suffer because they don't make ends meet, and it's not because of a lack of opportunity.
Right.
It's just because they fuck up and they're lazy and they don't just gear with it and get together. But at a certain point in time, we definitely know people that are caught up in it to the point where that's all they're concerned with.
Yeah.
All they're concerned with is moving up and the numbers and the ladder and the.
Yeah.
That's not good either.
No,
right?
it's not.
So either one, it's like you've defined
You have
this
to balance.
comfortable balance as a human being.
Yeah.
And don't get swept away by your pursuit because
Right.
your pursuit is just something that you're engaging in. But
Yeah.
this is why I like to look at, this is a fucking very hippie way to look at things, but I honestly like to look at all my pursuits, like everything I do or I try to do, as something that hopefully makes me a better person.
Mm-hmm.
As contradictory as they are in some ways, like jujitsu, a lot of people would think would be contradictory to making you a better person. No, you're just out there strangling people. Like, you're choking the shit.
It seems kind of mean, Joe Rogan.
That's not really what you're doing. What you're
Right.
doing is you're testing yourself in these extreme situations with other like-minded people,
Mm-hmm.
and you develop a lot. First of all, you develop a keen understanding of your actual vulnerability.
Right.
Because I've been choked out by people that I outweigh by like 30 pounds, 40 pounds.
Really?
Strangling. Yeah, for sure, man.
Yeah.
It happens all the time. And I'm decent, right?
Yeah.
And I get my ass kicked by
Yeah.
people way smaller than me.
Wow.
It's humbling. And people bigger than me that are better than me, they just run right through me like I don't exist. And I've been doing it a long time. So imagine
Yeah.
like the average person that has this delusional perspective of who they are.
Right.
You have to and you also got to get used to getting tapped out, and getting used to getting tapped out, like it's humbling and it doesn't feel good, and then you have to be able to just accept it. It's just a learning thing. Like, don't get your ego attached to this. The reason why you got tapped out is your arm is supposed to be here and you reached here and you got caught. So
Right.
don't do that anymore. Now you know.
Yeah.
You should thank that person for taking advantage of whatever possibilities you leave.
Yep.
Because when you leave these openings, now you need to know those openings are there because you didn't know it was there before. Next time, you won't do this with your arm.
Right.
You'll keep your arm right here like you're supposed to.
Right.
And you might still get tapped out, but it'll be harder.
Isn't it amazing? Like anytime you talk about whether it makes you a good person, any kind of a thing like that, like what you're talking about, is kind of similar to yoga. It's kind of similar to what we're talking about, like going and helping the pygmy. It's all about the common denominator with all of it is getting your ego out of it.
Yeah.
Getting your ego out of the way.
And
That's a
looking
big
at it
thing.
objectively, looking at like really taking some objective time.
Yeah.
A lot of people just keep going,
Right.
and they don't ever stop and assess and
Yeah.
look at themselves. How could I have done that better? How could I have handled this better?
Yeah. There's a real, it's like if you can get rid of the ego and the self and all this, and realize you're a part of something larger. Like even in jiu-jitsu, like the way you're describing it, it's that you're interacting with other human beings. It's not like you just isolated, walking around thinking I'm great. It's only when you get there with other people that you're kind of learning and having that back and forth.
And I think, I honestly think yoga is real similar in that way too. Yoga is like very humbling, and you do it together with a group of people, and everyone's struggling.
And there's this,
it's brutal.
And then you're on the mat next to two tiny girls who are just doing things that you can't do
ever,
and you're just like, it's humbling.
Yeah, it's humbling.
Yeah,
super humbling. There's a lady that works out at my yoga class sometimes. She's like in her maybe. She might be 60, but she's definitely in her late 50s.
Yeah.
And she's jacked, dude. She's jacked.
Yeah.
She does handstands and shit.
Yeah.
It's like, it's so inspirational.
Amazing.
And watching this lady take a yoga class, I mean, she does CrossFit, and she's just fucking completely shredded. I mean, six-pack, shoulders, just obviously fantastic genetics, but also never stopped working out.
Right.
Like her whole life.
Always moving.
Yeah.
Always doing
like,
it.
Jesus. Like, and to be like next to this lady who's also, of course, ultra flexible.
Yeah.
In a class. And watch her do all this. She's like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Humbling.
And your arms are shaking like a little baby giraffe.
I think even for her, it's humbling though. That's my point. Is that, like, it's fucking hard.
Yeah.
Like when you do hard shit, and I don't think enough of us do.
Yeah.
Hard shit puts things in perspective. Your mind wants to gravitate towards softness and the couch and the easy road and naps and fuck that. Let's quit.
Yeah.
You know, your mind gravitates towards that easy.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
It's just like, someone gave me, someone said, you know why people wallow in shit? Because it's warm and comfortable there. Isn't that great?
It is great.
Isn't that great?
It is great.
It is. It's like, it's just like this. But, you know, there's that thing. Like we're talking about, you know, living in these communities in other countries, and you're a fisherman, you do your little thing. Is that wallowing in shit and just staying small, or is there beauty and a great life living in something small like that?
There's beauty and a great life in doing things that make you happy.
Right.
And there's a lot of people that believe that subsistence living, like those folks that like live off the land, like in villages, and they catch fish and they have like a whole setup.
Yeah.
And they're not without food.
Right.
They have food, but their life essentially is about procuring food. It's not about getting a job at a factory somewhere.
Right.
Right. And then a factory will come along. And then all of a sudden, the factory says, hey, we'll pay you $2 a day. Like, holy shit, I've never seen $2 in my life.
Right.
And you start working for this factory, and now you're eating terrible food. You're not hanging out in the village. You're working all day. And you're making whatever fucking brand of sneakers that they sell in America because they can make them down there and pay a guy $2 a day.
Right.
Or whatever the rate is. I'm obviously exaggerating.
Yeah.
But I don't think I'm exaggerating by much. It's probably like $2 an hour maybe. So, whoa, you get $16 a day. Whoa, you fucking really taking care of your guys.
Right.
Yeah, but
you're a good man.
Ship shit down there to have it taken care of, and that these people, without us, would be broke. Well, okay, maybe they would. Or maybe they live in a rich eco environment, right? Maybe they're rich. Maybe they live in like
nice, simple,
maybe
simple,
they live in
healthy
the jungle.
world.
Yeah. Maybe they live in... you ever seen that fucking Werner Herzog documentary, Happy People?
No.
It's called Happy People, something in the taiga, Life in the Taiga. It's about the Taiga River in Siberia. And these people that live up there, and they have almost no money. Everything, whatever money that they do have, like if they trap furs and stuff like that, they'll trade it in for like equipment and some money to get supplies.
Right.
And then they live off the land. Everything is living off the land.
Right.
And they're like the fucking happiest people in the world.
Really?
It's weird, man. It's a super weird documentary, and it really makes you confront like what is life about.
Yeah.
And then also these two questions, right? Like, are they happy because we evolved that way? And that those motions of going out and catching fish and hunting and growing your own vegetables and having a tight-knit, small community is the benefit in that is that it hits all the old notes that we've had since we evolved, you know, from the time we were lower primates to living in these small clusters of monkey people to living in villages to working together and living off the land. And then that has been going on for so long.
Yeah, your DNA knows it.
Yeah, that this most recent trend of moving towards some sort of a technological world is so uncomfortable for us. And this working in cubicles with fluorescent lighting is so new.
Yeah. No, it's unhealthy. My sister runs this little nonprofit in New Jersey called City Green, and she takes these cities like Passaic and Patterson, these places that were booming and now they're kind of fallen off, and she creates these city gardens in all of these different places and brings young students in to sit and work with the earth and grow vegetables. The change in these kids who are just on their phones and just in this just tough city world, and there's no money, and it's like this desperate, you don't know, there's no sense of place, there's no sense of what you're supposed to do. They sit and garden and actually smell the dirt and harvest vegetables and cook that food. It changes their life because just what you're saying, it's what we're supposed to do. It's our nature as beasts to do these things.
I'm not necessarily saying it's what we're supposed to do, as much as I'm saying it's what we did do for so long that we know it and the grooves have already been cut. Almost like what we're doing now is like, you ever try to take a screwdriver and the screwdriver doesn't quite fit the screw, but you can kind of make it work.
Yeah.
And when you kind of make it work, it kind of chews up the screw a little bit.
This is every time I use a screwdriver.
That's a human being in a city.
Right.
So it doesn't slot right in.
Right.
Now think a human being that's living in like the taiga, you're talking about grooves that have been polished and cut and the exact fit for the environment. Boom. So all their human reward systems for survival they're not based on some sort of technological innovation that will move us towards a world of artificial intelligence and fucking the internet going through your brain. It's pumping through the sky and Wi-Fi all over the globe. No, it's not. Their grooves are carved differently than ours.
Right.
So our grooves.
But don't you think your groove, like when you go out into the woods, don't you feel
terrified? Shouldn't be there. What am I doing there?
But when you come
so vulnerable.
But when you come home and you survived, your soul, something's happened to your soul.
Yeah, I appreciate civilization. See, it's not an either or is my point. It's not like man, you got to live in the woods. That's the only way, man. You got to be one with nature. Okay, well, you also should go to a nice restaurant in a city. You should also go see a comedy show. I mean, the very thing that we enjoy most, watching and performing stand-up comedy, is all done with electric lights and a microphone in a completely unnatural environment that's air-conditioned.
Yeah, but you're dealing with human beings. You're dealing with heartbeats and sweat and breath.
But you need all this technology, and this is a totally new thing.
Right.
But it's the most important thing to us, right? This is a new endeavor for humans.
Yeah, but don't you feel like if you're totally disconnected from nature and you just live in that city? I know people that don't leave Manhattan.
That's not good.
They're not healthy people.
Yeah, that's not good.
No, they're like shaky and weird.
Right next to the battery all the time.
Yeah, totally.
Give it to me.
It is not good.
I want the biggest condo.
Yeah. I'm telling you, one walk, one hike, and it would fix their head.
Or you can see. Here's the thing. I think you can be completely healthy being some fucking business person that's out there kicking ass and taking names. I don't think it's impossible.
No,
I don't think it's impossible. I think for me to say that someone can't do it and be like as fulfilled and happy as these people in the Werner Herzog documentary is ridiculous. Like, what do I know? The people are so different. They vary so much. And I know people that are fucking miserable when you take them in the woods. They're like, fuck all this. Especially people who don't exercise at all.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen a guy that doesn't exercise at all trying to make it up a big, steep hill? It is hilarious.
Yeah.
It's hilarious. Their feet start hurting. Their ankles pop. Like, they're basically like sticks surrounded by bags of Jell-O.
It really is true.
And then they have to move their body up a hill. They're fucked.
We live on a hill, and they were paving it the other day. And my office looks out over the street, and I watch people walk their dogs or run. There's that's why I texted you about hills, which we could talk about later. And so they're paving the street, so everyone had to park down at the bottom of the street. So everyone had to walk to their cars. And I never saw these people. They were coming out like stick people, walking and then having to go back up the hill, miserable.
Right.
They don't walk. They never walk, and they're
Right.
like trying to like get up the thing like a broken down robot.
Yeah, I mean, some people were injured for sure, but
Yeah.
some people, they just stopped using it and it started deteriorating.
Yeah.
And, you know, you attribute that to getting older,
Yeah.
which is absolutely a factor. But it's more of a factor when you don't exercise. And I sound like some goddamn infomercial. I know I do. But I'm being honest. Like, everybody, I'm not talking
No.
about do the shit that, you know,
That you do.
you know, or anybody that's
Yeah.
like fucking CrossFitting like that lady in my yoga class who looks like a Greek statue.
No, you don't have to go completely nuts, but you got to move. You got to do something for
Yeah.
your body.
You got to just go walk, man. Walk up hills if you can. If you live in a place that has hills,
Yeah.
it's fucking giant for you. And
Yeah.
don't, Bert Kreischer, don't think you're really running when you're running on a treadmill, motherfucker.
I was running yesterday. I was thinking about that because I just listened to it.
He runs on real shit too. I'm just giving him a hard time. But he was
know.
telling me he was running like 7-minute miles. I'm like, bitch, you weren't going anywhere. You're in the same room.
I know.
That is a crazy thing to say.
Yeah, exactly. And getting off and writing jokes. No,
But
that
you're
was
not running 7-minute miles on a fucking treadmill. You're in the
No.
same room.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear any of this mile talk. This is crazy.
Yeah, and get outside with the sun in your face and the wind blowing on you.
My
and-
fucking elliptical told me the other day I went 5 miles. I'm like, how did I go 5 miles? This isn't even a method of transportation if I got off this thing. You know, like walking around this loopy way. I mean, it's not even, at least when you're on a treadmill, you're mimicking running.
yeah,
I
exactly.
mean, you're kind of running to
Yeah.
keep up with the thing.
No, you are.
But it's like 60%, maybe 70% running.
Yeah.
Of what running is, right? It's
Right.
better than nothing.
Yeah.
But the elliptical is, what is that?
Yeah.
You're pulling? I'm pulling? I'm going miles by pulling?
I didn't understand what you were saying about when you texted me that you do the hills for an hour. What does
Yeah.
that mean, though? I mean, an hour.
Means that's how long the run takes. It takes about
You're
an
outside
hour.
for an
Yeah,
hour.
Yeah.
But you
from
go-
the time I start. This is I've gone further and shorter. And I'll still go shorter if I'm short on time because the end part of my run that I've been doing pretty regularly
Yeah.
is the last part is a mile and 7/10 of that is straight up.
Okay.
And it's fucking rough.
Yeah.
And I can, if I could get up it all the way with a really slow, steady pace.
Yeah.
But I'm way too meathead for that. So I do mad sprints until I can't do it anymore, and then I pause, and I try to get that pause down to a minute. If I get
Okay.
the pause down to a minute where my heartbeat gets to below 140 beats a second,
Right.
and then I charge. So I have spots where I know that I can reach,
Right.
and then I try to go, do 20 yards past that spot.
I
And then I
gotcha.
try to go 20 yards. But the ultimate goal is, I'll never really make it.
Yeah.
The ultimate goal is to be able to sprint all the way up the hill.
Gotcha. To sprint all. I have this killer hill, not the one I was just talking about, but going up the other way. It's a killer hill, paved, but it's killer. And I was thinking I should do because I'll go run 3 miles, but on it's a little hilly, but I was thinking like if I were to just spend the workout going up and down that hill,
It's amazing.
yeah. But I don't know what would constitute
Too much?
comparable or more than the 3 miles that I'm running.
It'll be way harder.
It'll be harder, but would do it 3 times or?
I would say do it once and see how you feel, and maybe don't even do it that hard.
Yeah.
That I
It's
don't
hard.
take that advice. I'm a fucking terrible listener to my own advice because I always do too much and then get real sore, and then I realize, okay, I got to back this off and build up to it. That was a big thing with me with the running. I tried to go way hard on it real quick, and I also
Yeah.
tried to go way hard on it with those 5-finger shoes.
Yeah.
You got to be super careful with those things.
Yeah.
There's great benefit in those things, but they lost a class action lawsuit, and I should clear this up because a lot of people that been texting me about this or messaging me or commenting on my Instagram posts about those things. I learned, first of all, I'm not paid by these people. They don't support me in any way. They've never spent a dime advertising or a penny advertising this podcast.
This is Vibram?
Vibram 5-finger shoes.
Right.
I learned about them from Mark Sisson. I learned about them before.
Monkey feet.
But those 5-finger toe
Yeah.
shoes. But Mark Sisson, who's this he's a very well respected endurance athlete. He was a coach, and now he does. He writes this book, the Primal Blueprint, about healthy diets, and he goes back and forth from keto to like a real low sugar, low carb, very fat adapted diet. Really, very smart and very very well educated.
What's
guy.
his name again?
Mark Sisson.
Sisson.
And he was talking about these things, but that's the only things he wears. Most times he's barefoot. And he's essentially,
Really?
he's essentially saying that like your feet in shoes, it's like your feet being in a cast, and all those muscles in your feet sort of atrophy.
Yeah.
And then when you put on those 5-finger shoes, those muscles have to work in a way they really don't have to work when they're in a shoe.
Yeah.
It's much harder for them.
Right.
So the same exercise that you would do, like the same run, is way harder because your feet are getting a way harder workout.
Right.
But you have to be careful because if you go too hard, a lot of people get plantar fasciitis. I think that's how you say it, which is like really bad,
Like pain?
pain in the bottom of their foot. The fascia is all fucked up, and
Yeah.
it's tearing, and the bottom of your foot is in severe agony. I know several people that have got it. Neil
Oh,
Brennan
really?
got it.
Oh,
Neil-
really?
From wearing those 5-finger toe shoes on a treadmill. Neil Brennan got
Really?
it.
And
Yeah.
he's light. He's not even like
Yeah.
pushing mass.
He is, but Neil is a bit of an obsessive person.
Yeah.
like in a good way. And
Yeah.
I think that maybe he got obsessed with running and maybe ran a little too hard with
Right.
those shoes. You got to be super careful with those shoes. Build
Yeah.
up slow. But once you do build up, you could run in those things, and like my feet feel so different than they felt like 5 months ago.
Really?
Yeah, they're way different. They're way stronger. Way stronger.
But do you need strong feet?
well, here's where it's good.
What are you doing with these feet?
Just walking around, it's easier.
Yeah?
Yeah, my ankles are stronger. My feet, because I'm running all this weird, fucked up terrain.
Let me ask you
like
this:
rocks and stuff.
when you get up at night to go to the bathroom, or you wake up in the morning, like I get up and my ankles are like I'm waking up, kind of a thing. Do you still have that?
No, I don't have any of that.
You don't have any of
No,
that. Did you
no.
before you ran in these shoes?
No, not really. I've never really had much ankle pain. If
Not
I have, it's
not
very
like-
temporary.
Just like creaky,
No.
like beer can ankles.
No, for whatever reason, I never had that. I did so much of my youth kicking things. I
Yeah.
think my ankles are pretty strong.
Right.
Because there's so much. Because when you're throwing kicks, like you think about, especially like a side kick or a front kick, there's so much pressure on the ankle.
You're using them.
Yeah, not so much with round kicks, because round kicks kind of pull it apart. You hit with the shin.
Uh-huh.
But when you're hitting with the actual foot itself, there's a lot of stress on the ankle, and I think my ankles develop really strong because of that.
Right.
So when I run, I feel a big difference in the workout when I run up a straight hill
Yeah.
versus I run up a trail with rocks and shit, where I have to jump from one stone to another, and
Yeah,
I'll
navigating
take
your way.
you with me.
I'll
you should
go.
come do it with me one time.
I'll do it.
Yeah, don't do it with the 5-finger shoes. Do it with
No.
regular shoes. And I
No.
still alternate. When I need a really hard workout, I alternate. And then I put these on. This is what I like the best. These Solomon trail shoes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you know why? Because this tread here is the shit.
Oh yeah.
This tread's
You're
amazing.
not going to slide out.
Oh, not at all. It's
Yeah.
like a dirt bike tire or something. It just grips in the dirt. It's like the best traction.
How far like a flat run do you go?
I don't ever flat run.
You don't ever flat.
I mean, I run.
You're always
for
going
this
up in these
little
mountains.
strips. These little, because it's exciting.
It's so much more fun
And
when
I
you're
see
in a
where I'm
trail.
supposed to go.
Back to nature, by the way.
Yeah,
You
dude.
get excited when you're out
Yeah.
there.
I
It's-
see a person occasionally walking their dog, hanging out,
Yeah.
walking the trails and shit.
No, that's great.
But it's mostly just me running these hard ass hills.
There's nothing more fun when you're like sprinting. When I was a kid, we'd like, walk to school through the woods.
Yeah.
Oh man, it was just
Yeah.
when you would take off and you're jumping from rock to rock. Especially when you know the trail and you
Yeah.
know where you've got to jump and slide.
Yeah, you're playing. You're
yeah,
having fun.
That's exactly it. You're
I
playing.
do that when I run too. You know when I do that when I run for real? When I get high first.
You get high before you run.
Yep.
That's then I'd start thinking I'm having a heart attack.
Nope. You're not having a heart attack. Your heart's just working hard. Just bring it in.
Really?
Just go for that. Yeah, man. First of all, there's been proof that a lot of endurance athletes find great benefit in marijuana.
What?
Even smoking it, vaping it in particular. Some
What?
of them edibles, yeah. They feel like it dilates your lungs,
Uh-huh.
makes your lungs take in more oxygen.
Really?
And it also makes you more in tune with your body. A lot of weightlifters smoke weed before they lift weights.
Really?
A lot of weightlifters. More and more now than ever before. I get messages from people all the time that say, dude, I thought I was a loser. Like people would say I was a loser for smoking pot before I worked out, but I
Yeah.
have some of my best workouts ever. I'm not talking about Get So Blitz where you look at the curl like, how do I know how to move my arm like this?
I feel weird.
I mean, get just a little high. Where
Right,
you
just a
feel
hit.
your muscles, like yoga too. Like Terrence McKenna actually believed that yoga was a guide to how to use hash. He felt like hashish
Uh-huh.
and marijuana. Hashish is made from marijuana.
Yeah.
Right?
best.
Yeah, hashish is awesome.
Yeah.
And people, but hash sounds like you're doing heroin, like to like the uneducated, uninitiated. It's just super strong THC, right?
Yeah.
But the feeling that they would get from it is from yoga. Doing it that way is what inspired those moves. And he believes
that yoga started with people that were smoking hash.
He believes that that's where it originated from. Like when you're high and you start stretching, it feels really good. And these people are notorious users of cannabis and hashish. And they smoke, like he was saying the dirty secret among sadhus is that really what they're concentrated on is how many chillums can you smoke and still be there. And like they like take pride.
What's
and
a chillum?
Chillum is like a hit of hash.
Oh, that's called a chillum?
Yeah. What is the exact definition of chillum? Because the only people I've ever heard is hash people talk about it, and I don't see if you can find that. Chillum. See if you can find that. Because I've only smoked hash a couple of times. I'm not like a prolific hash user, but in other countries, there's like serious. It's weird because like people get busted and they get treated when they get busted with hash like they're smuggling meth or something. You know, it sounds like
it sounds more intense. It sounds like a different thing.
But it's not a dangerous thing. This is the point.
No, it's not
a deadly
at all.
thing.
No,
but it gets classified in those ways. Like people think of hash as like something from. Wasn't that what they got arrested for in the Midnight Express?
That's right.
That's right. Yeah, so he had weed.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
He's in a Turkish prison for weed. Yeah, here's this dude smoking a chillum.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So that guy clearly gets high. That guy gets high as fuck. These guys are so high, they're painting themselves up like superheroes and shit.
He's all dreadlocked. His face looks like a ghost.
So these are sadhus that are smoking chillums.
Crazy beard.
See, you see the hash there in his pipe. So sadhus just get barbecued high, and they do yoga.
Wow.
And I noticed it once.
It is, yeah.
When this is before I was like doing yoga regularly, but I had to do this show, and I was particularly nervous because someone I really didn't like was in the audience, and
really didn't like.
Yeah, really didn't like was in the audience, and some people that were there to see me were in the audience. So
pressure night.
Yeah, it was weird.
Yeah.
Right. So what I did was I smoked weed, and I got like really stretchy, and I started stretching out, and in my stretching. In like this like severe stretching, this is gonna sound super fucking hippie, but I felt a severe sense of forgiveness for this person that I don't like, and I still don't like him to this day.
Yeah,
I do avoid him at all costs.
Yeah,
he's not a healthy human. But I felt a severe sense of forgiveness and acceptance, and almost like pity.
Yeah. No, that's not. That's real. That's
and love too. This like weird love thing. Like I feel bad for the guy. Like I don't want him in my life because I don't want to manage it.
Right. I know what you mean. But there's yoga does when you go into yoga, you could be stressed and balled up, and you could have like a work thing rattling in your head and you could be pissed at somebody. When you come out, it doesn't matter.
And there's a thing that seems counterintuitive. Like why would stretching make your mind feel better? Like what is going, and there's all this rationalization, right? Is it endorphins that are being released? Is it just the fact that your body needed exercise? But that's this sort of weird sort of need to dissect things and figure out the one cause.
Yeah,
the one reason.
Right.
A minimalist approach or minimalizing. You know.
Yeah, you want to. Yeah. You want to understand it. You want to get your head around it.
But it's all those things. It's the physical thing. It's probably the endorphins. It's the physical release of the muscles, which relaxes your body, which relaxes your mind because everything's connected.
Right.
And it's also the act of stretching, this intense act of stretching and holding positions. It does something for the overall way that your mind interacts with your body.
Completely.
The tension of your body affects the way your mind works.
Time becomes different in a class like that.
Yeah, it goes by super fucking slow.
My yoga
90-minute classes.
My yoga teacher said, she said at the end of class, she said it's yoga's like aspirin. You may not exactly know why it works, but you know it works. And that's yoga. I don't know what exactly just happened during this hour, but I feel much more at peace when I walk out of there than I did coming in.
Yeah, man.
100%.
For sure. That's a good way to look at it.
Yeah, it just works. So if
they talk crazy shit in yoga though.
No.
This is massaging your descending colon. No, it's not. You
gotta-
only use 7% of your brain. No, that's not true. That's been disproven. Stop saying that.
Yeah, no. It took me a long time to find a yoga teacher that wasn't taking me down the in the weird spots and talking all that stuff. She's just so, let's just do this. Here's the pose. Correct your arm. Correct that.
Yeah.
She doesn't get hippy dippy. One ohm and you're in.
It's just awesome enough as it is. And it's not all of them that do this. You know, the place I go to, the chick who runs it, she never does that. She doesn't say crazy shit, but she's inspirational, and there's a lot of people in there that are inspirational.
Yeah.
And all of their weird styles. Like this one dude that teaches in my class, got all these freaky tattoos, got this weird style.
Oh, yeah.
You know, this other guy is like a boxing fan, and he teaches a killer yoga class. It's a weird thing, man.
There's mutations of it, and like, you know, people start to make it into the sport and do this stuff.
Yeah, people get a little fired up with that, right?
Yeah.
Not really into that.
You know what I don't like is the dude that takes his shirt off, the big sweaty older dude that takes his shirt off. I mean, it's 90% women. I just feel like sit in the back, calm down, don't make a scene. Just as a dude, do your thing and get out of there.
Why is he? What do you mean
he's got a big gross ponytail and he takes his shirt off. And
in your place, dudes don't take their shirt off?
Huh?
Dudes keep their shirt on in your place?
I keep my shirt on.
See, no one in my place keeps their shirt on. No guys.
No?
Yeah, maybe like 1 out of like 10.
I'm sweating I'm sweating like an animal.
It's 105 degrees in there.
I
104
don't
degrees.
need.
Why would you want a shirt on?
I don't do the hot yoga. I don't do Bikram. I do straight.
That's the difference.
I do straight yoga, and I'm
straight. What are you saying? Should I do is gay?
I don't do your gay yoga.
What's gay yoga?
No, I'm so sweaty. Even doing that, I have to keep a shirt on. My mat will be soaked.
Okay, bro.
It's disgusting.
Don't be scared. Don't be scared of a soaked mat. You're there to work out.
Yeah.
Scared of sweat?
No, you know what I'm scared of? I'm scared of. I don't want to offend that little girl who's next to me.
Well, she's in yoga class, man.
I know, but I just feel like, do you need me with my half hairy back next to you?
That's you being a comedian.
Is
Yeah, you're like, oh, look at me. I'm so fucking gross.
I know,
keep my clothes on. I mean, I'm sure you're probably thinking of material. Like, I know you find me disgusting. I find me disgusting. I want to look at myself in the mirror.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be about the act of the movements.
I know.
When can you do the movements most free? For you, if it's with a shirt on, wear a shirt.
I feel like out of kindness, I just keep my shirt on and keep a low profile.
Do you tie a rope around the base of your dick and balls?
Well, yeah. Everybody does that.
Yeah. Do you wear yoga? Do you wear yoga pants, or are you like a board shorts type of guy?
No, I'm you have the same shorts that I run in.
I dress up like a high school gym coach, like those sweatpants, old school gray style.
Yeah.
Go all the way down there. You'd be so hot. Oh my god! If you wear those hot sweatpants in a Bikram's class, man, I should do that one day just to see if I can.
Yeah.
Dress like a wrestler,
like a
real
real
weight.
thick. Yeah. Oh, cutting weight's the worst.
If you those like thick ass old school, you know who's making those again? Converse. Converse is making those thick ass old school gray sweatshirts that don't have any markings on them.
Interesting.
And they're really like high quality. I was like, ooh, this is like
old school,
minimalist.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah,
I like that look. I would do that in yoga
Just
class.
fuck all your crazy colors and stripes and shit. Gray, you're here to sweat. Why isn't your shirt turned color, Papa?
What are you doing?
If you're wearing a black shirt, no one knows if you're sweating. You gotta get real close to you.
I sweat like an animal. I'm sweating now. I'm in yoga class. I'm gonna be sweating like crazy.
It's hard work.
It is. I love it. But get high and do it.
Just try it.
I will. I don't know.
You'll thank me.
All right, I'm going to try it.
Or you'll yell at me, depending on how much pot you smoke.
Joe, I started, my heart was racing. I started thinking I was having a heart attack.
You know what you need?
And then
I need some of the spray. Do we got the spray here, Jamie? Young Jamie?
I think you gave it to somebody.
Oh, I did? Yeah, I gave
There's
it to
probably one of them
Shab.
some here, but I
That's
think you
right.
gave...
Well, I'll get some more of it.
Jamie, I was going to bring you bread today because I made this olive walnut bread. And then I forgot.
Do you ever make spicy bread? Like
no.
With, crushed red pepper or anything in it?
No. Is that what you like?
I've had pretty good like cheddar, crushed red pepper. There's a couple good bread places in Ohio where I'm from.
Oh, really? All right.
You know what
I'll
I miss?
explore that.
A good pie place that makes a good pot pie.
A pot pie?
You don't see a lot of pot pies anymore.
Yeah.
You know that kind?
There's
that
a
we get
place
with
in
the
Burbank that does it.
flaky outer crust and the cubes of chicken with that sort of yellow broth with the carrots and the celery in there and like, woo!
It's like Thanksgiving in a cup.
And peas.
Oh,
little
it's
peas
so
in there.
good.
God damn, a pot pie.
I'm spacing on the name, but there's a place in Burbank
look
that
at
does it.
5 pot pies to die for.
Oh,
a
man.
pot pie is a damn delicious meal.
It really is. It makes you so warm inside.
It's like the ultimate comfort food.
It really is.
It might be, right? But that and a really good meatloaf with mashed potatoes and gravy.
Oh, my God.
It's tough to fuck with that, too.
Oh, that's nice. That's a slightly different dough.
Both of
It's
those.
a little flaky.
that's
More
right,
butter in that dough. It's
dough extra.
When you make the dough for a pot pie, you're using like a whole stick of butter.
That's what I'm talking about. That's why it's so goddamn good.
So good. It's so
it's
good.
so good. I wish they could make cows, like engineer cows. If they get to this CRISPR thing, you know, just please make some cows that don't have a head. Just make some cow and the top of its neck is a computer, so we don't have to think about cruelty.
Yeah.
Like there's no consciousness whatsoever. And just make me a nice butter, a nice grass-fed butter with this headless cow. Just
It would be so much nicer.
open up its neck and just pump grass down there.
Yeah.
Just grind the grass up and then push it in with like a fireplace bellows. Just
And you get
push
this
it in a neck hole.
You get the butter out the other end.
So it has
would
no
be
brain.
So nice.
No suffering. How about it don't even have it shaped like a cow? If you're tripping on that?
Yeah.
Yeah. How about a ball of meat that gives you butter?
It's coming. I bet you it's coming.
Just a giant bag of tits. That's all you need is like the udder. The computers take care of all the other stuff.
Yeah.
Right?
Just a warehouse filled with tits on a rack.
Yeah, just like they engineer a frame of bones that's shaped like a basket. And in that basket is like an inner crust. It's like a pot pie. The inner crust of meat, which is the crust of the pot pie. And then the inside is all tit.
That'd be so delightful.
And it's just
no guilt.
squishing milk out of that fucker all day long, and it's phenomenal. And it just exists on a substrate of ground up grass. So you have ground up grass all around the meat outer shell, sort of like the aluminum on a pot pie. You know, you have that aluminum foil around the edge.
Yeah, it'd be delightful.
If somebody gives you a pot pie without the aluminum foil around the edge, they can go fuck themselves.
Oh my God, what are
What
they,
are you
animals?
doing, you monster?
Good Lord. Where
can't
did you
even-
grow up?
I can't even dig my fork underneath it and scoop out the dry underside with the gravy on top.
Oh, that little treat at the end, the base
Oh,
crust.
Yes, the base is a
my
moist crust.
God.
It's the moistest crust, right?
The best.
And then you have a little bit of the top crust too, the crunchy, the outside, the ring.
Let's get out of here. Now
Let's
you
go
need
get a room and just order pot pies.
and one of those rooms with that giant bidet with the 3 hoses.
Party! We're gonna need it after this pot pie. All those fucking carbs hit us.
When are we going to Musso and Frank's?
Oh yeah, we gotta do
keep
that.
talking
I
about
know,
it.
We do keep doing that. We should do that before a set at the store one night.
Yeah, let's do that.
That's the move, like gentlemen.
Yeah.
Should we wear suits?
Yes. 100%.
Okay.
Can I have the lighter, please?
Yeah, I have a suit now.
You do?
Yeah, I get a suit for a school function for my kid.
Oh, really? What do you mean? What kind
Well,
of
I always
function?
have one that I wear for the UFC.
Right.
Yeah, but the UFC one stays at the UFC so that I don't have to do anything. They
Oh,
take
smart.
care of it. I just go there.
That's smart.
Sweet gig.
I like a nice suit. You just look good.
Do you wear a pocket
You
square?
always look good. No, when I
Good for
hosted this
you.
TV show, I did.
Yeah, you
There was
had
always
to.
a pocket
They
square.
made you.
Yeah, they made me.
They forced that useless piece of cloth right there.
It was a funny, and
You never know when you need a tourniquet.
it was a little pocket square, and Madonna came in to do the show, and the whole building was like electric. It was like, Madonna's coming. And it really was like energy. Like you could feel energy in the building because Madonna was walking in.
Did you call her Madonna?
So I came in, yeah, and I was like, I got to go meet her before the show or I'm going to be too freaked out. So I just walked into the dressing room and I'm like, hi, Madonna, I'm Tom. She's like, nice to see you. And she walks up and she goes, this has got to go. And she took the pocket square out and tossed it.
You know why?
I was like, that's it. I'm not wearing
Because Guy Ritchie, her ex-husband, is a proponent of the pocket square. Guy Ritchie was on
For real?
my podcast
Uh-huh.
talking about the importance of the suit and having a pocket square.
That's
Yes.
hilarious. Because she immediately, I just met her 2 seconds. She whipped it out of my and tossed it. There she was.
It's a look at a young Tom Papa.
Yeah,
at you,
look
you
at that.
slim-faced son of a bitch.
Yeah, look at that.
Mr. I'll steal your girl. Look at you with your fucking.
Do I look a
red
lot
and
different
black
now?
Barber shop.
How different do
tie.
I look from that
You
shot?
want to be honest or what?
Yes. Am I too doughy?
You gained a couple pounds. You're making delicious bread.
I am.
Did Ricky Gervais laugh hard at everything?
Uh-huh.
That's his move.
That's his move.
Seems like a jolly fella.
Especially when Jerry said it.
Yeah, well, it's a good move.
Yeah.
Always make Jerry think, say it louder. Something about English people, right? When Guy Ritchie was describing with his English accent the suit, I was all in. I was like,
Yeah.
God damn it. Where I stopped, though, was at the Pocket Square. I'm like, I'm
You
not
just
wearing a
look
tie
good.
either, motherfucker. I'm not wearing a tie. That was the other thing. He was talking about ties. I'm like, dude,
No tie.
kill somebody with a tie. Grab a hold of somebody with a tie, you can kill them.
You're broad. You got broad shoulders. It's like skinny guys, skinny English dudes with a tie. It's a different thing.
Well, the tie problem with me is that some people have choked me too many times.
So you feel like someone's
Yeah.
it's like that Hedberg joke.
I've been choked hundreds of times, like literally.
Yeah.
Like the average person has been choked, like the average person in the street. If they get choked once or twice in their life, they're
Yeah.
like, what the fuck happened? And the journey from white belt to black belt, I was choked for sure hundreds of times.
Oh, my
I have
God.
no idea how many.
Really?
Like if you had asked me how many times I have to tap out because someone was choking me, I'd be like, shit, hundreds.
Hundreds of times.
For sure, it has to be, especially in the early days.
my-
God damn it, I got choked all the time.
Really?
All the time.
That's not pleasant.
I'd get choked 5-6 times by one guy
Oh God.
before I moved to the next guy.
That's crazy.
So I'm not wearing a fucking tie. No.
Not doing that top button.
No. I remember how that works.
I'm choking myself
If someone
now.
grabs you, if you had to do jujitsu with a tie, that's all anybody would go for. I'm going to tell you the truth.
Yeah,
for real.
of course.
If everybody had to wear a tie. Say if you do jujitsu and instead of wearing a belt, everybody has to wear a tie. Or you could take the belt and wrap it around the dude's neck. Say if you started with your black belt tied around your neck. Like,
Right.
Nobody would go for anything other than the belt.
Yeah,
All
but
you have to do is get a hand under that belt, grab it, and twist, and you're out cold. All I have to do is secure some part of your body where I can keep you from moving. Like in maybe like a side mount or a crucifix position where I trap an arm and I trap the other arm with my neck, and I'm going to choke the shit out of you.
This
You're
isn't
wearing a
happening at your
tie.
daughter's school function.
No. But I think it should.
Yeah. You
it
mean you
should.
could grab someone's belt and knock them?
If someone had a belt around their neck, like
Around their
jiu-jitsu
neck.
guys,
Right.
I'm saying jiu-jitsu guys are rolling around. The ultimate goal would be to get the belt around the guy's neck. Mm-hmm. Like if you could do that,
Right.
that would be the #1 thing to do.
Right.
And if you already had it like knotted around your neck, like that was how you started,
Yeah.
the way you knot around your waist,
Right.
people would kill each other. They'd immediately grab that rope around your neck and choke you with it. That'd be the ultimate goal. Forget footlocks. Fuck your footlock. Like
You've done all the work for me.
Yeah, I'm gonna grab that rope around your neck and put you to sleep. This is crazy because all you'd have to do is twist it. You could. I had to choke my dog out once that way.
Really?
My dog was attacking a cat, and I got my hand inside his collar and I put him to sleep.
Really?
Yeah. I grabbed his collar and I twisted it down and cranked it. I did jujitsu on my dog. Put him right out.
It knocked him out?
Instantly.
Really?
Instantly. Yeah, just like it does a person.
Holy
Because he wasn't
cow.
resisting. He didn't know what was going on.
Yeah.
So I got it in there, grabbed a hold of where the buckle is, and I just crank. I stepped over him and cranked on it. He just went limp.
Wow.
Like that, instantly. And the cat took off.
I'm going to try that.
Dude, it works.
That's
Shouldn't
crazy.
do it to dogs. But, but that's a person, too.
Yeah.
The idea is the arteries around your neck that feed your brain. You shut those off like a garden hose.
Right.
Bink, like you fold a garden hose and then the water stops flowing. That's what happens to your brain.
Right.
And then you go out. That's why it's not nearly as dangerous as a knockout.
Right.
Like people,
Because it's just flow.
Yeah, people get confused about that. Like they think that a concussion and being choked out is the same thing. Still giving you brain damage, bro. It's not. It's not giving
Right.
you brain damage. It happens to people in class. They go right back to rolling. They don't have no ill effects at all.
Really?
Yeah, you just go to
get
sleep.
right back to it.
You wake up and you're like, what happened?
Wow.
Like you don't even realize it. You're like, what happened? You're like, oh shit, did I get choked out? And everybody starts laughing.
Right.
Like if that happens in jiu-jitsu class, people, as long as you're fine, people will start laughing because it happens to everybody.
Really?
Yeah, for sure. If you don't tap,
Yeah.
you go to sleep. Everybody does.
This sounds fun.
It is fun, honestly,
Yeah.
till a girl does it to you. Super humiliating, right?
When's the last time you were choked out?
By a girl or a guy?
By anybody?
John Jacques Machado tapped me like a few months back.
Oh yeah.
But he always can.
Yeah.
I don't think it was a choke. I think it was an armbar. When you roll with someone who's really good, you're gonna get caught.
Yeah.
Just no way around it.
Right.
But when a girl does it to you, Duncan was taking some classes. A chick kept choking him out. It's like Duncan. We gotta work on this. Some people just don't get into it, you know. But for people who don't get into it, I get it. Just get into something else that's hard to do. Just get into something that's hard to do.
Would you get high into jiu-jitsu?
Oh yeah, everybody does.
Oh really?
Super popular.
Even that?
Oh yeah, super popular. Makes you better.
Really?
100%.
Why? Because you're more conscious
more
of
tuned into
what you're
your
doing?
body, more focused on what you're doing. It provides a type of focus, and it doesn't seem. See, here's the thing: the type of consciousness that you have when you are rolling with a person in jiu-jitsu, when someone's trying to get you and you're trying to defend yourself, that type of feeling that you get is very different than any feeling that you get in most of life other than an actual conflict with a person, which is pretty rare. Luckily, we have a nice society, right?
Yeah.
If you're living in a nice neighborhood.
Right.
But that feeling, for whatever reason, lends itself very well to getting high. Because when you get high, you get into this sort of like not me state, like an ego dropped off state. You know, that's one of the reasons why people get so vulnerable. They feel vulnerable because they feel it's like they don't have that ego anymore. It's a very ego diminishing substance. It's like almost like a medicine for diminishing the ego. Obviously, the effects are different on different people.
Sure.
But that, on top of the focus aspect of it, makes it really attractive to people who do jiu-jitsu. Because you can let go of the bullshit, you're not all tense, and then you could focus on what you're actually trying to do. And your ego doesn't get in the way. You see things better. You feel things better. You're more cognizant of how your body works.
Right.
And some people say that that's a cop-out and that really you should just get more comfortable with your body, period. And they're probably right. There's probably something to that, too.
But is there any element, like when you get high, where you're just like, it's all cool, it doesn't matter? Because you need an edge to go fight, you know, right?
Jiu-jitsu is not fighting because you're not hitting each other.
Right.
And, I mean,
so it's more of a...
I mean, a boxing match is obviously a fight.
Right.
But it's not in the new definition. In the new definition, a fight is a mixed martial arts fight where and even then, there's rules that are applied.
Right.
Right? So, like, there's no eye gouging, there's no ball kicks, there's no hitting to the back of the head.
Right.
You can't elbow someone to the back of the head, which is, in a way, healthier for the athletes involved, but in another way, more delusional because it removes a very dangerous, like Eddie Bravo's always talking about that when guys used to take guys' backs in the early days, what they would do instantly is elbow to the back of the head. Like it didn't matter if you defend the choke or not. If someone starts smashing the back of your head, you're fucked. It's a terrible position to be in.
Yeah.
That is removed from MMA. So because that's removed from MMA, you almost have to look at an MMA fight, which is absolutely a fight, as in a way kind of a match, a mixed martial arts match, because the rules are so rigid.
Right.
Much more loose than boxing, but still rigid.
Right.
So you got a jiu-jitsu match for sure. Not really a fight.
Yeah.
Because you can't get leg kicked, you can't get elbowed in the face, you're not going to get kneed into a coma.
Right.
It's a totally different experience than a fight. And it's almost disrespectful in some ways to call a jiu-jitsu match a fight. But other people like to refer to it as fight. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Right?
If you don't know and you're just looking at it from the outside.
Boxing match is more like a fight.
Right.
Right? Because you're hitting each other in this grave danger. And you're really trying to kill each other.
Right.
I mean, you're smashing each other, right? Not trying to kill, but
Yeah.
you are using your explosive force on a person, trying to take them out, and it's a very dangerous encounter with severe consequences for your brain.
Right. Yeah.
That's a fight.
Yeah.
But it's a fight with very limited rules.
Yeah.
Because like a Muay Thai fighter, a really good Muay Thai fighter, would kill most really good boxers if the boxer didn't know what was going on.
Right.
Because a really good Muay Thai fighter, it's going to be very hard to hit him, to get that close to him, and he's going to start kicking your legs immediately.
What's Muay Thai?
It's Thai boxing.
Okay.
Because they have more weapons. They have legs. They kick the legs a lot.
Yeah.
And they'll push you away with their front kick. There's like so much stuff that you're not going to be able to do.
Right.
A boxer would be way better with his hands, but a Muay Thai fighter is usually pretty good with their hands already, especially good enough to land a shitload of kicks on you and keep you from getting in range. And if you did get in range, they clinch you and they knee you in the body and they elbow you in the head. It's a way more complete striking system than regular boxing.
Right. Do you feel like there's too many rules? Like, do you feel like it should be just opened up in MMA? Like,
Yes,
and make
no.
it real?
Yes and no, because I like specialists. Like I love that Conor McGregor Floyd Mayweather fight because
Yeah.
it was a real specialist. You got to see like a really elite high level striker from MMA become almost helpless
Yeah.
against a world champion, probably the best ever boxer.
Right.
You get to see.
Yeah.
This is what happens when a specialist fights someone who's really good at something.
Yeah.
Like me, if I wanted to roll against someone who's like a real high level jiu-jitsu black belt, I would get killed.
Right.
But if you got a really good jiu-jitsu black belt from the UFC,
Mm-hmm.
they would kill me. But a really good jiu-jitsu black belt from the UFC might get killed by a really good jiu-jitsu world champion.
Uh-huh.
It's like there's all these levels and levels, and the only way you achieve those levels is a true specialist.
Mm-hmm.
Like a true specialist it's at such a different level. Like if you watch, you know who Sanchai is? You ever heard of Sanchai from
No.
Thailand? He's probably one of the greatest ever combat sports athletes ever, and he fights every couple weeks. I follow
Jeez.
him on Instagram. He's
Yeah.
36 years old. He fights people way smaller than him all the time. And although he knocks a lot of people out,
Right.
most of his fights are won by him just doing shit to the opponent that they just can't deal with. He just kicks the shit out of them. He hits them when they're not looking. I mean,
Right.
they don't know what he's doing. He's so clever and fast.
Right.
I mean, he's just a wizard, a technical wizard inside
Jeez.
the ring. And when you watch him, you realize, like, oh, well, there's levels even to this thing.
Right.
Like, this guy is such a specialist.
Yeah.
That anybody outside of that, like if Floyd Mayweather wanted to fight Sanchai, and
Right.
he let Sanchai kick him, it would be one of the most lopsided fights you've ever seen. It would be horrific to watch. Watching a world-class boxer just getting exposed. Just
What-
legs kicked out from under him, kicked in the face, legs kicked out
Yeah.
from under him,
No
knee
way.
in the face, elbowed in the head.
Well, don't you think McGregor, if he was allowed to do his
Oh,
thing,
for sure.
right?
For sure.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, Sanchai could probably do that to McGregor.
Right.
There's levels and
Yeah.
levels. What McGregor encountered with Floyd Mayweather, he would encounter in Thai boxing.
Right.
With like a fantastic, one of the greatest ever, in a guy like Sanchai.
So it sounds like the rules actually make it more interesting.
They do
because you
make it
have
more
to become
interesting.
right.
Yeah. So the only way you find out who the really best jiu-jitsu guys is,
Yeah.
you have to have them only compete in jiu-jitsu.
Right.
Because with striking, there's all this other stuff involved. You hurt people with punches and knees. But when you want to look at a complete system,
Yeah.
like a complete system, mixed martial arts is as close as it comes without the elbows to the head and
Uh-huh.
the kicks when the down to the head on a down fighter and the stomps and the knees to the head on a down fighter.
Right.
And then the really dirty shit like eyeball pokes and knees
Right.
to the balls.
Just
stuff
gonna-
like that.
yeah.
So
Then
it's
it's-
always going to be a match,
Right.
You can't bite someone's nose off. It's always going to be a match.
Right. Right.
You know what I mean? It's not
yeah.
like a
there's got to
fight
be
like
some
animals.
limit. Yeah.
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 But you still call it a fight.
Right. So how many hills do I have to run to get back
No.
into my old shape?
Well, I think it's this whole fucking goddamn delicious bread you're making. That's an issue.
It's a lot
It's so good.
It's so good.
That's the problem.
You know what happened? I visited this woman in Ojai who's really good baker. It's Kate's
Oh,
Breads.
you're
She's
visiting
just
bakers.
Yeah, she's amazing. And I saw what flour she had. I'm like, oh, I got to get that flour. I got to get this flour. So I looked up online where she gets the flour. It comes from Utah,
Whoa.
and the smallest you can get is a 50-pound bag. So I have 2 50-pound bags of wheat and artisan all-purpose flour in
Wow.
my kitchen. And I was thinking, like, if you were to eat 50 pounds of flour, you would be a big fatso.
Dude.
But the flour makes such a difference, a huge difference.
You know what I discovered recently?
What?
Is a 00 wheat pasta from Italy. Do you know what I'm talking
00,
about?
yeah, yeah,
You do know.
Yeah.
See, most folks don't.
yeah. Now 00 is what you use for pizza dough. Yeah,
Ah, the good stuff, right?
good stuff.
And I also found out about heirloom wheat.
Heirloom wheat.
Yeah. That most of what we're getting here in the United States of good old America
Yep.
is wheat that has been. And people love that term GMO, right? It scares the shit out of people. I don't eat GMOs.
Right.
Super organic.
Yeah.
Good, all good thoughts. But the reality is, most of the wheat we have, according to Maynard Keenan from Tool,
Mm-hmm.
the singer, lead
Yeah,
singer,
the singer.
He also owns this great vineyard. He owns a
Right,
winery
right. Yeah.
and a restaurant.
Oh, yeah.
So he was explaining to me, He explained it on the podcast,
Right.
about the differences between the wheat we have today
Mm-hmm.
and the original wheat.
Yeah.
Like the wheat we have today has much more complex glutens in it, and it's a larger yield for the same area.
Right.
So when they would grow the old wheat, they didn't make as much of it, but it was easier for a person to digest.
Right.
So that's what it is.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's so many of these little farmers, and littles, you know, some are pretty big for being little, but compared to what these giant things are, that really concentrate on growing the wheat the way that it used to be grown.
Yeah, you
and
have
then
to have
mill it the way it was.
heirloom seeds, though,
And
right?
yeah, and it makes such a difference. Like, just, I was like, how big of a difference can it be? And just in making the bread that I'm making, huge.
I would imagine, right?
It tastes like
it's alive.
natural. Yeah, it's earthy. It's deep. It's like, it's
love that
really
term,
good.
earthy.
Earthy's good.
Unless
Now
it's-
it made a big difference, but now I got to figure out how I'm going to store 100 pounds of flour.
you probably have to do it in a controlled environment, no?
I got
Does
to.
it go bad?
You got to just put it in like barrels.
Does it have to be dry and airtight or something
Yeah,
like that?
yeah,
But it's good for a long time when you do it that way?
yeah, yeah. And I'm still learning and cranking out a lot and giving it away and stuff, and so I'm going through a lot. It won't sit forever.
The way it's been described to me, the differences between the difference of like a tomato that you get in the grocery store today, even a good one,
Yeah.
in comparison to an heirloom tomato.
Makes perfect sense.
Yeah, that those tomatoes that we have today, like Neil deGrasse Tyson did a speech about this where someone was asking him, not a speech, but an answer to a question. I think it might have been in one of those talks that he does, those town hall talks.
Yeah.
And someone was asking him about GMOs, and he said, virtually everything that we eat has been modified.
Yeah.
Everything from the oranges to the corn. Like, you wouldn't want to go back to the original corn. It wouldn't taste good. There wouldn't be a lot of yield to it. But then the real problem is the corn that we have today, not that easy for us to digest,
Right.
and not that good to eat a lot of it. You know, it's all like, how much of it do you use?
Yeah. But when you do eat a tomato, like an heirloom tomato that you get at a farmer's market that this guy grew in this tiny
Yeah.
little farm and just happens to have them that week, phenomenal.
But I don't think that's the same with corn.
No.
I think that golden sweet corn that we have today that tastes like candy,
Yeah.
that's the best shit that's ever existed.
That's pretty good.
You know, you put butter on that,
Yeah.
you wrap it in aluminum foil, put it on the grill. Shut the fuck
my
up with your
God.
bullshit ass original pine cone looking corn.
Your hard ass corn.
That stupid corn they would
flavor.
hang on. People would hang that stupid corn on their door on Thanksgiving. Remember that?
Yeah,
What
the Indian corn.
Fuck is up with that unedible bullshit ass multiracial corn?
Scaring children away at Halloween.
Yeah, it's like it's so weird colored and
Yeah.
it's like, what are you? I don't know, man. I'm all kinds of shit.
Yeah, just try and eat me if you can.
That was the original corn, but it wasn't even that. That's like it exaggerated.
Yeah, no, that's
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's the corn people put. Wait, what is that?
That's-
Why you got corn all over your
that's
house?
spooky corn.
That's children of the corn.
Yeah, that's some spooky corn right there.
Have you ever seen the original corn? See if you can find original corn plant images. Oh,
Maize.
and I still want to know how much tobacco rollers get paid.
I couldn't find much. The only thing I found was an article about a guy that just started a business, and it said somewhere in there that as cheap as they could be made was like 30 cents a piece, and it was expensive as $5 a piece for the cigar itself. It didn't say that included a highly skilled wrapper to do it. So I don't know, they might be being paid per
cigar they roll.
50 cents per if they're doing like a bunch in a row. You know, it didn't say exactly.
Whoever rolled this did a great
They
job.
did a fantastic job. It's easy draw.
Easy draw. It's lasting a nice long
There's a great
time.
podcast if you're into cigars where Ari Shafir sat down with Robert Kelly. They smoke cigars, and Bobby Kelly's is that what it really looked like? Bobby Kelly is a crazy fucking
He's
cigar
gone
smoker.
crazy with
Look
the
at that.
cigars.
Look at the original corn looked like bullshit.
What?
Yeah, that's the original corn. See the
Ew.
size of a quarter? And then look
Yeah.
at the quarter with that. Wow, that is crazy. The original corn versus the new corn.
Wow, that's
Barely
wild.
recognizable.
Wild.
And that shit was all done through like splicing, right?
Right. That was natural.
Look at the fucking corn. Look what corn used to look like.
That's weird. It looks like the root that came out of your toilet.
Too small.
Yeah.
The big modern corn looks like the root. That's crazy, right? I mean, corn used to be this tiny little low yield product. Whoa, that's jelly bean corn. That's amazing.
Glass gem corn.
Glass jam corn. I'll bet that tastes like shit.
Yeah, it's terrible.
That can't be good.
No.
Otherwise, people would eat it, right?
Yeah. You ever get cotton candy
What is
grapes?
that? What is that, Jamie?
Black waxy corn.
What?
Black waxy corn.
Wow, that looks amazing.
That looks pretty good.
That looks like licorice. Like you would bite into it, it would
That
taste
looks
like
cool. I would eat that.
I would eat that too. I would think that like if you went over a clever person's house, they would serve you that black corn. You'd be like, ooh, this made this experience even better.
Where do those purple potatoes come from? Peru, right? That's probably the same area as this, I think.
Is it?
Peruvian purple potatoes, isn't that?
Ooh, look at that one. That's crazy. That looks like, the alien from the Geiger. That's its dick. Yeah. Go back to that. Tell me it doesn't look like an alien dick. The tongue comes out and it fucks you at the same time. It jabs you in the head with that, and then it shoots the baby into your body through that thing.
Then you're just sitting there eating dinner like nothing's wrong.
Spore grows out of your dead body.
I can't believe that that the corn didn't. I think between the original corn being that weird knobby thing and the corn that we have year round, I think there's probably an era in there where the corn tasted better.
Right, like the life of the taiga.
Yeah.
That's the evolution of human beings to technological superiority where we're at today. You got to meet it halfway. That's the sweet spot.
Yeah, the sweet spot.
Brought it back
There's no
around.
stopping it. There is no stopping it. We're moving forward.
There's no stopping it. But maybe this spot is not the sweet spot. Just like living in a cave wasn't the fucking sweet spot, right? It was just a sweet spot for the time,
Yeah.
right? Like,
No,
you don't want to go live on the taiga.
No.
Tom Papa.
I can't.
You can't.
No, I'd be
No.
exhausted.
How are you going to bake your bread?
How am I going to make my bread?
Where are you
Exactly.
going to get your flour? You're going to have to grow it?
Oh, my God. You got to mill your own bread?
Do you imagine if you had to grow your own fucking wheat to make your bread?
Yeah. I would never make bread.
Would you, though? Maybe.
I probably would.
Maybe I'll plant the seed right now. Maybe you're going to leave here. You're going to be driving home in your electric car, and you're going to be thinking, hey, why the fuck all this comedy bullshit? What I need to do is get a big piece of land and start growing my own wheat and then chopping it down and making my own bread and have Tom Papa's Bread Restaurant.
I have given this a lot of thought. I have.
Have you really?
There's something so, not about throwing it all away, but there's something about going bigger and deeper into it. It's kind of just draws you in. I'm not even making decisions. There's just like, well, now I'm getting bigger things of flour, and it just, there's something very all-consuming about it.
Yeah.
It's good. Whenever you get something that it's rewarding, and I like that it's small. I like that there's no bullshit around it. There's no phone calls to be made. It's just all on my own terms.
But
it's in my control.
Does that appeal to you as an overall life, or does it appeal to you as a vacation from the current life that you enjoy, which is very hectic and kind of stressful, writing material, performing, traveling?
You know what? I feel like, I don't know. It's an interesting question. I do feel like the process of making it and doing it is, it matches up with writing really well. When I'm at home and I'm writing a lot, and in between taking breaks and going and tending to the bread and then coming back to the writing, that back and forth is very satisfying.
Nice.
It is the best.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've often thought writing in some ways releases you from the stress that a lot of people find of performing. They're just writing.
Yeah, I heard Norm Macdonald say that on his show, that he just wants to write books. He just wants to write books.
I've heard that before. Where people just want to go internal and stop being.
I know, but
a performer.
I feel like I couldn't do that 100%. I really love it. I have this. My book's going to come out next year.
Oh, it's a plug. I see what you did. Son of a bitch.
You can't even buy it yet, but it is coming out soon.
You planting seeds.
Planting seeds.
Planting seeds for people to buy the book. I see what you're doing.
Yeah.
It's not yet.
It's not like I'm plugging my gig at Comics at Mohegan Sun or anything.
Whoa, you're there?
And
when is that?
It's coming up next week.
Oh, interesting.
No, I feel like when I was writing the book, I got very deep into it, and I love coming in with my coffee in the morning and going to work for hours just in there tinkering with it, playing with it. It was very satisfying.
Makes sense.
But
Grounding.
after several days of not being on stage,
start getting itchy.
You get itchy.
Yeah.
It's not who I am.
Do you think that it's that you've experienced these jolts of fun that you get from stand-up, and that you become addicted to these jolts of fun, and then seeing the happiness in people's faces when they're laughing.
Yeah, that relating to people, that isolation of writing is okay, but until I can take that idea out, share it with other human beings, that's what I'm built for.
Yeah. Well, you've designed yourself that way. Sort of like, you look at the human race. We've grown to this place where if you made people like, were you here during the heat wave?
Yeah.
Got weird, right?
Yeah. It was intense. It got intense.
It was a little spooky.
It was.
Yeah, because like really,
people were on edge.
Yeah. Well, I was
quietly on edge,
waiting for the AC to go. Right. If the AC goes, then how are we going to deal with this?
Yeah.
Because this is not. You have to just get in the shower all day.
Yeah. No, it's intense.
When it's like 110, you can stay in the shade and you'll stay reasonably cool. But it's way hotter than you want it to be.
Yes. You're not sleeping right.
No. Sweating like a pig. Yeah. Like the people in Florida right now, there's a lot of people that don't have power.
Yeah. And it's humid.
It's hot as fuck.
Yeah.
Fans blowing.
No, it's not good.
That feeling where you're like, I've always thought, no disrespect to people from Florida, but that's one of the reasons why people think of people that live in the South as being dull. Because I think for the longest time, before they invented air conditioning, those fucking people didn't have time to think deep.
Right, and or move quickly.
You're not going to think your best thoughts when you're fucking sweating like a pig and you're exhausted all the time.
Yeah.
Why getting the power back on in Florida could take weeks. Oh, Jesus Christ. Fuck that. That's rough.
It is rough.
Weeks.
Why'd you bring up the whether I was here during the heat wave?
Because it was so evident to me during that time that we really can't even exist in this environment without the way we do and enjoy the way we live without the modern conveniences of the electrical grid and air conditioning units and the delivery of food and all this shit that we just get like super accustomed to. So like we think now of life without that stuff as being like impossible. But at one point in time, we were adapted. At one point in time, life without that, like those fucking people that live in the taiga, the worst it gets for them is it gets crazy cold, they bundle up, and they go inside and they burn wood. Like they have like a whole system built in to survive that environment. For us, that would be unthinkable.
Yeah.
Like your house doesn't have central AC.
Right.
You don't have heat? You don't have a thermostat? Wait a minute. Wait.
Yeah.
Hold on. So you walk in your house, that thing doesn't glow on the wall and show you the temperature? You walk by it?
Right, exactly. Yeah. It's not programmed where it's going to knows I'm home.
Yeah, a friend of mine's house, you walk towards his thermostat and it lights up. It senses you. It senses you're there.
Right.
You're like, hey.
Yeah.
It shows you the temperature. Like it's off and like you'll step away and it'll dim up and then you stand right in front of it and it lights up and you're like, this is freaky.
Yeah, it's pretty nice.
These people don't have that, man. They have windows they shut.
Yeah.
They have fire. Fire keeps the heat in.
Yeah, and
like bundle up.
No, I couldn't live like
Put animal skins on.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what people did.
No, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
I'm not. No.
So we've adapted for sure to this. You and I have adapted to this. The question is, who's happier? What's it better? Is it better
I'm pretty happy. When I walk in after that heat wave and I would walk into my house, you take your shoes off and you put that bare feet on that cold tile. I'm pretty happy. Yeah. Happier than the tiger guy.
Yeah, watch TV, all these hurricanes brewing in the Gulf. Like, ooh, Jesus.
Yeah. But I found that that writing is very, as I was writing, I was reading a lot of writers and stuff, and it's very isolating. Like the more you write, the more you are shutting out the world. The more it's a hermit's life.
It is.
It really is.
In a way.
It's not you are very much within your own head and eating up a lot of time just being by yourself.
Yeah.
It's it can be rewarding for sure, but it's if you were to write all the time like that, it's pretty isolating.
Well, it's also in a lot of ways almost like a mental marathon because you're on this one thing for a long time.
Yeah.
You're sitting there staring at this thing and you're writing and you're thinking about it and you're focusing on it and then you're going back at it and you're thinking about it and you're focusing on it.
Yeah.
And it becomes like a part of your daily thoughts even when you're not doing it sometimes.
What was really remarkable was, when you're writing your stand-up, it's like in blocks. It's like, chunks. And I was thinking, how am I going to keep track of like a whole book?
Ooh.
But your subconscious really does. Like, I know exactly where things are. I would glide through it and know, I think I have to change this part and see on my notes. Yes, indeed, that is where I was going to change it. It is your brain starts to take in all that information and treat it like chunks. You know what I mean? It's no different really than writing your stand-up.
Do you do you take notes, like chapter notes, like you have like a notebook that you have sitting on the side, and you like say chapter 1, here's all the things that I like or don't like, or
not that
things to think
specifically, but if
about?
there's something that I can't wrestle to the ground and I'm like, I got to fix that ending, I'll just write on the side pad, page 35, ending, you know,
okay.
and then keep going.
And you writing like what's the subject of the book?
It's funny essays about family life.
Okay, so it's all just different
Chapters about
okay.
everybody in your family, your parents, your kids, your uncles, cousins, everything that makes up family. So it's all these little, it's like 300 pages, and each one is probably 4 pages, 5 pages. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. How long have you been working on it?
A little over a year.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Damn.
And it's like this week it goes back and I don't get it back.
Ooh, this is it?
Yeah, this
How
is
does
it.
that feel?
Great.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You done?
Yeah, I'm done.
Got it?
Not like sick of it.
No, but yeah,
But
you feel
pretty
like,
proud of parts of it. But every time you look at it, you're like, ugh, how did I let that go? This is terrible. This is so corny. How did I let that joke in? You know, but
do you find that sometimes you have an idea that you're not getting out totally, but you leave it as is as a placeholder, and you review it later?
yeah,
Like maybe you feel like there's something in this idea, but whatever I have right now is shit.
yeah.
But maybe there's something, if I just like leave it there like that, maybe I'll come at it from a different angle. But at least then I know to think about this one subject that I thought had some promise.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
100%. And I really feel like it's kind of taught me how much your subconscious goes to work on it without you being conscious.
Yeah.
Like you don't realize that your brain is actually going to work on this. When you shut the computer and walk away, and you think that's it, your brain is still going at it without you even being aware that it's happening.
You ever read Stephen King on writing? His book on writing? It's a great book.
It's a great book.
You know one of the things I thought was the most shocking was that he doesn't really like have a whole outline of his stories before he starts writing them.
It's crazy.
He just has an idea.
And just go.
Yeah.
Which is brilliant.
It's fucking amazing.
You got to trust yourself. You've got to, I mean, he's a brilliant mind, but.
You know, when I was a kid, his books were thought of as like fluff. But if you read Stephen King, you weren't really reading.
Well, that happens when
weird?
you're really popular,
It was a little bit of that.
right?
But it was also that, you're just reading monster stories. It's so stupid. You know, like you should be reading about depressed heroin users. Then you'd be like,
Right,
then
exactly.
You'd be deep.
Yeah, middle-age crisis in Europe,
Yeah.
you know.
Hey, man, this is Alphabet City in the 1960s. These people were doing smack.
Yeah.
They were listening to Lou Reed and punching each other.
That guy, I mean, you ever go to a bookstore and look at the Stephen King section
It's
in a
insane.
bookstore? It's a
insane.
whole part
Yeah.
of the store. This guy just cranks it out.
Yeah.
Amazing.
There's definitely eras, though. There's like, you know what I feel like? I feel like there's drugs and no drugs Stephen King.
Uh-huh.
And drug Stephen King is The Shining, Carrie, Cujo,
Dead Zone.
Dead Zone, all the crazy shit.
Yeah.
All the like dark, weird, twisted, no inhibition whatsoever
Yeah.
shit. And then he's like more content now and probably a healthier person.
Uh-huh.
And then the stories aren't quite as fucked up as It.
Yeah.
It was fucked up.
But there's that one Mr. Mercedes, one of the
Supposed to be
newer
really
ones.
good. Oh, he's still got it in him for sure.
Dark.
Oh, for sure.
Dark.
Well, it's not just dark. Like if you go back and read Carrie,
Yeah.
it's not just dark. It's like the psychological profile of this poor, tormented
Yeah.
young girl with telekinetic powers is fucking fantastic. He
Yeah.
just nailed it.
Oh, my
To
God.
the point where you want her to make those kids' heads explode.
Yeah.
You want her to cause accidents. Like, go
Yeah.
get them, girl.
Right.
Fuck these assholes. Like finally, the tormented and picked on girl has an option.
Yeah.
I mean, he made it perfect. really created like the ultimate outsider. Some poor kid that was unfortunate to be born into a situation where her mother was a completely psychotic cunt.
Yeah.
And people were trying to fucking throw pig's blood on her and run her over with a car.
Oh, so mean.
Yeah, but they faked that this fucking handsome guy was going to go to the prom with her just to dump blood on her. They all thought it was funny. They were laughing at her. And she got back at them all because we realized that at the worst case scenario for a human is someone that could do that to some poor, misfortunate girl like Carrie, right? So we show, like, without killing her, these are the worst people that you could imagine. And she had this fucking ace in the hole.
This power.
that they never saw coming. It's fucking great.
It's so great.
Man.
He's amazing.
Fuck, he's good.
Amazing.
But I remember people telling me, like, that's all fluff. I'd be like, Pet Cemetery? Motherfucker,
Shining,
you ever read that book?
Shining is not fluff.
It's not fluff. It's not fluff.
No.
The book is fucking fantastic.
Oh, my God.
And the book, that guy goes crazy slow.
Yeah.
It takes a while. That's what he didn't like about the original Jack Nicholson version, the Kubrick version, which was fantastic.
Yeah.
But it was a different story. I can see the argument that that story was more adaptable to a film that takes place over, 2+ hours or whatever. Whereas his book, it would have to be like a 30-hour movie.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a long process of Jack. Maybe 30 hours wouldn't be enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, when he really starts going nuts and the family realizes he's actually losing his fucking mind and being taken over by something that lives in this house.
Yeah, by this demon.
It's good. He felt like Jack Nicholson. I think, if I remember correctly, his criticism of that Jack Nicholson seemed crazy immediately.
Oh, really?
He was already crazy. And that, like, he had hurt the kid once when he was drinking. Right. He was fucked up. I don't know if that was in the book. I don't remember.
Yeah.
But that Jack Nicholson's character was too crazy right away.
Right.
Like, it wasn't enough of a transition. Like, he was ready to give in. It's just Jack.
It's just Jack. The one thing I took away from his book on writing was just get to the end. Don't share it. Don't talk about it. Just keep going. Get to the end. Don't judge it yourself. Just get to the end and then start going to work on it. And that really was helpful, getting to the end of this. And then it actually became really fun going back and
fixing it up.
And even like just the clarity, like just make it simple. Just get this message across. Like, why am I taking 3 paragraphs, repeating myself, pare it down, peel it off? Make it clear for the reader. You didn't want to go in circles. Make this very, like, a lot of times I'll read articles like in the paper or something, and it's like I'm not understanding it. It's not that I'm not understanding. It's that this isn't written well. This isn't clear.
Right.
That's your job. Like, just going back and trying to clear. I mean, like, sometimes when you have a bit and you're working on new stuff for your stand-up and you have something, it's like this big chunk, and then when you're done working on it, it's down to like 5 lines because you learned how to say it so effectively, so direct.
Yeah, and you realize the parts that you were enjoying them, but they were tripping you up the whole bit.
Right. They were getting in the way. They're like, you're asking the audience to think about this. Why? It's just getting in the way.
It's just confusing the clarity of the original thought. Ari has this piece of paper that he has glued to the top of his keyboard. That's a Hemingway quote. It says, "The first draft of everything is shit."
Oh, nice. Yeah.
It's great.
It takes the pressure off.
Well, it's also real.
Yeah.
It's like really just get it out there and don't think that it's done.
And Hemingway writing.
Yeah. Yeah.
His first draft was shit. So my little stuff is going to end up shit. Is it?
But like Stephen King, Hemingway was fucked up all the time. Like Stephen King's early days.
Yeah. Was Stephen King really fucked up?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he was?
Don't you remember the book? We was talking. Oh, my God.
I don't remember that part.
Yeah, dude. I mean, he was just drinking cases of Budweiser and fucking doing coke, and he said he didn't even remember writing Carrie.
What?
Yeah, I didn't even remember it. It all came in a haze. Or is it Cujo?
Holy
Cujo.
cow.
Carrie or Cujo? I think Cujo.
Oh, Cujo.
I think he didn't remember writing Cujo. I think he was in a. I don't know. I might be wrong. It might be Carrie.
But just he was that messed up.
One of those books.
Cujo.
What is it? Cujo. Thank you.
Wow.
So, to be so blasted that he didn't even remember writing one of the great horror books ever.
Oh, my God.
And a horror book about a rabid dog, a giant rabid dog that used to be everybody's friend.
So scary. I read that as a kid, like in a summer, and just you were in that car with that kid, with the mom, just like, oh my God.
Man.
His just slobber on the window next to you.
Dude.
So he was that messed up.
Yeah. It was self-admittedly. Yeah, I mean, he was doing everything.
When did he get clean?
Years back, I think his wife put the hammer down.
Yeah, they gave his family and friends staged an intervention.
Yeah.
Right around that time.
Oh yeah.
What year?
Got that bad?
Was that?
Doesn't say. Let's see. Late 80s, I guess.
Yeah, see, so I don't want to say that he couldn't have written amazing stuff without drugs.
No.
But the original stuff that he did, he was but I mean, was it that he was just fucked up and he was writing amazing stuff, or was it that he was writing amazing stuff because he was fucked up? But clearly it has an effect on your mind. And your mind is where all your creativity allegedly is coming from, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you're writing and you're concentrating, the way you're thinking about things directly affects the work. So if you're thinking about things on coke and drinking, and you get this like psychotic overview of life on Earth and the interactions that people have with each other, and this is what you're writing, this is how you're writing, influenced by these drugs has a giant effect on creativity.
Sure, but without talent to harness it, and you know,
oh yeah, totally.
you could if you don't have that talent that he has,
unquestionably,
you can get just fucked up, and then just you don't do anything with it, but sit in your room,
right?
And, you know, but it's there's like real talent there,
yeah.
That then the drugs influence that. It's manipulating that giant talent.
I mean, I think you could also say the same about a lot of great comics like Kinnison and Pryor.
Yeah.
Obviously, they had a great relationship, bad relationship with some drugs.
Yeah.
But they were also fucking super talented on top of that.
For sure. Yeah.
It's a fascinating thought, right?
Yeah.
It's like what are your thoughts, and where are these coming from? Are they coming from the environment that you live in, the things you've been exposed to, the pros and the cons, the goods and the bads?
You ever hear, I'm sure you have, but I'll ask it anyway, but you ever hear singers, songwriters talk about where the songs come from?
Yeah, they all
Tom
have a
Waits,
different
Bob
approach.
Dylan. Yeah, but a lot of times they talk about catching them out of the air.
Yeah.
That they weren't like, they didn't come from me. They all have this overwhelming feeling like it came from somewhere else.
Yeah.
What do you make of that?
For sure. I think Steven Pinker calls it the muse. He uses the expression the muse, or the idea of the muse.
Mm-hmm.
And that even if it's not like a real muse, like some sort of a guardian thing, but treat it like it is.
Right.
And that with respect, like show up to work and that muse will show up more often.
Right.
Like tune it in and have it come to you. But I think it comes back to what we were saying about ego and like getting out of your own way. Like sometimes when you're writing, you're so immersed in these thoughts and these ideas that you are out of your own way. You get that tunnel.
Yeah.
I think then the booze and the coke and the weed or whatever the fuck you're doing helps you stay in that crazy zone of just letting these ideas sort of create themselves in your mind and letting the story play itself out in your brain.
But how much of it is from within your brain and how much is it in the ether?
It's a good question.
What
does that mean?
And what is that? Yeah.
What does that mean?
What does that mean, floating around in the ether?
Yeah.
And you just being a thing where it can kind of show up.
Yeah.
You know, is it just harnessing us? I mean, because whenever you talk about meditating or even the yoga or the jiu-jitsu, all that stuff we're talking about, it is a relationship to the universe.
Right.
Right? It is a relationship to these forces that are outside of ourself.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
It is. And it's probably, I mean, every human being is a combination of so many different experiences and genes and environment and the culture they live in. I mean, there's so many different factors that would affect your creativity too. There's so many different factors that would affect the way unique ideas enter into your head.
Yeah.
And why? And you know, how much respect do you pay to those ideas? How much time do you spend alone with those ideas?
Right. Can you focus on a lot of different things? Like if you were writing, like can you focus on your act and another project?
No.
It's hard, right?
No, I'm not good at that. I've tried that. I don't do so well at that. I write different things, but if I have like a main project, like if I'm trying to do a special or something like that, the main project has always got to be the stand-up.
Right.
And that all these other things that I write are just fishing for more stand-up.
Right.
You know, so like a lot of times I don't write, like try to sit down and write a specific joke.
Yeah.
I get a joke and then I write on the joke, but I get a joke from writing blogs more, like almost like essays. So I'll start thinking about a subject, and this way I'm not restricted to a punchline format.
Uh-huh.
I'm just trying to like explore all the different things that I think about this, and
Of an
I might
idea.
find 1 or 2 gems in there.
Right.
And then I extract those, and I go, okay, well, how do I get that gem?
Right.
And turn it into I know there's a thought there that makes sense.
Yeah.
How do I do that without all that other bullshit?
Right.
How do I get to it quick?
I really think that great stand-up is like poetry because that's all paring you down to this one simple way to deliver all of that thing in that blog.
Yeah.
Right?
That's why tweets are so good. Like, Ian Edwards was telling me about that, about like writing tweets and writing like little Facebook posts, like having real limited. That he would just sit there and try to write like really funny shit on Twitter, and that it forces you to boil it down to 140 characters.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's a skill.
Yeah, it is. It's a definite like. You learn how to have like a quickly impacting thought.
Yeah.
As opposed to like some long, or like you ever read? I mean, I'm guilty of it too. I've written some stuff like that, but that long, drawn out, stupid shit that could have been like parsed down, and it's almost like, come on, man, don't put this out there yet. This is
Right.
a first draft.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
The world is filled with those specials right now.
Yeah, those specials, those articles, and there's so much of
Yeah.
that.
Just kind of hanging out.
Yeah.
It's an interesting thing, but I did like the process of having to write it. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like knowing that someone out there is waiting for it. Like
Right.
I've got to hand this thing in. It was kind of it was pretty cool.
That's why people like doing specials too, because you know that like, hey, I have to film this thing in 6 months, so I have X amount of work to do. I
Yeah.
got to get it done.
Right.
Like as opposed to if you don't have
Hanging out.
yeah, just doing sets.
Right.
Like how much you writing? I'm writing a little.
Yeah, I'm doing it. And
Yeah.
you realize that same new joke is 6 months old.
Yeah, or a year old, or 2 years old, or 5 years old, or I mean, how many guys do you know like that?
Yeah.
But there's so much comfort in the port. You're already in port. You don't want to go back out to that ocean of ideas.
Right,
Look,
exactly. It's
I
nice
built
and
a house
safe
over here.
Yeah.
I've been working on this house for
Come
years.
on, I got to go out again?
Fuck
Jeez.
that. I got this act. I got it nice and honed. It's good. What do you mean a hurricane's coming? It's going to knock down my beachside house and I got to rebuild? I can't possibly.
I can't do that.
Look, I can't grow. I'm 70 years old. There's no learning.
Yeah,
It's over.
I'm done.
You are what you are.
I'm done, man.
You are what you are.
So, can we talk about what you did yesterday?
Sure.
Because you sent me a pretty cool picture.
Oh, the elk?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
I try to do that once a year.
That was
Go and,
massive.
Yeah, it's huge. Big animal.
How big?
Wild elk. 1,000 pounds, probably.
Jeez.
It's a big animal.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And how long did it just come? Were you set up in one spot and it kind of crossed your path?
It was a couple of days of trying to get close to one.
Couple days.
Yeah. That's really quick.
Wow.
Usually it's a lot more days, but you're obviously sometimes you'll have encounters with an elk, like your very first morning.
Right.
There's a picture of it.
The rack on that is amazing.
It's a big animal.
That is huge rack.
Yeah, that's one of the most, I think, majestic of all wild animals.
That is amazing. I mean, that is a mountain of an animal.
These animals get killed so often by mountain lions, like mountain lions in particular.
Yeah.
And
How old is he, you think?
bears? I don't know.
I mean, that's
good
a
question.
big rack. How long did it take to grow that rack?
You know what's really crazy? They drop them off every year and they regrow them quick.
Every year?
Yep,
So that grows that quickly.
within a couple months.
Oh my God,
Yeah,
really?
it's insane. It's like one of the
That looks
quickest growing things in nature.
like I would think that was around for 20 years.
No. They drop those off every year.
Oh my God.
And that's where you can tell very specific, like there's very specific characteristics of certain antlers, and you can tell like by the sheds if it's the same antler if you catch them like a year later.
Man, oh man.
Yeah.
One arrow?
One arrow.
Really? What do
Yeah.
you aim for?
With the lungs, like the vitals, the lungs, the heart.
Right.
It kills them. Like the lungs get deflated and they die quick. He fell within 5 seconds.
Really?
Yeah.
From an arrow?
Yeah, and then it takes a few seconds for them to expire. But
Oh, my
never
God.
knew we were there. He had no idea we were there.
So how long
Until-
were you in that spot? Were you?
Well, we were trying to get to him for a couple hours
Uh-huh.
because he was screaming. They scream when they're trying to get laid. When they're trying to pick up chicks.
Oh,
And they
really?
fight each other to the death. We find dead ones there.
Really?
Yeah, you find them all the time.
They fight?
One of them they found though had a mountain lion's claw stuck in its head, which is really crazy. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, they found this one that had been chewed up, and when they, like when I think one of them dies, they want to find out like what killed him, and I think you bring the skull to like Fish and Game, and they do an examination on whatever they can
to see what's going on out in the
see
wild.
if it was poached. Sometimes people will shoot an animal and then they're not supposed to be there. Like people are assholes, man. Like Ted Nugent has a place in some people are obviously.
Yeah.
Ted Nugent has a place in Michigan, and it's this big giant fenced in deer park that he has, like hundreds of acres. And one day while he was not there, someone killed like all of his bucks. So they climbed the fence and just shot them all.
And just shot him and left them?
Yeah, just shot them.
Oh my God.
Yeah, people have done
That's gross.
terrible things like that. So I think there's one, they have to think about that. They find a dead one. And also they have to think about what's killing it. Is it a bear that's killing it?
Right.
Not that usual. They're pretty big for a grown bear to attack that.
A bear and an elk
be a grizzly.
would be crazy.
There's no bear in America, or there's no grizzlies in California, rather.
Right.
But they do get jacked by grizzlies in like Wyoming.
Really?
Especially their babies, almost all their babies.
Would a grizzly fight it for food or just to protect itself?
No, for food.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it was. You don't have to protect yourself from an elk.
Right.
You have to protect yourself from a moose. Moose will try to fuck you up.
Yeah.
It's a different animal. Because they evolve around grizzly bears all the time.
So
they're up in Alaska.
Right.
And there's a certain parts of America they are too. But
I ran into one in Denver, in Colorado.
Yeah, you can find them in Colorado. Yeah. They're in Wyoming.
I think I told you that story. I came around a trail. We were backcountry for a couple of weeks, and we just came around this trail, and it was a baby moose, like in the middle of the trail.
Whoa.
We're like, oh, it's so cute. And it was like, you just heard, oh shit, its mom's got to be around here. And we got out of there really quick.
A friend of mine has a ranch in British Columbia, and he was on his horse, and he got too close to the baby, so the mother moose started chasing them at full clip.
Oh, man.
He said it was fucking terrifying.
Yeah.
Because the moose is so much bigger than his horse.
Gigantic. Oh, he was on a horse?
He was on a horse.
Holy.
And he's just hoping that the horse can get away from this fucking moose. This moose is sprinting at them.
God.
And if the moose will knock you off the horse and stomp you to death.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
That is scary.
Yeah, you catch a mama when she's around her babies and she decides you're a problem.
And what about the elk? Does that have would that run you down, like if it saw you and felt threatened?
No, they're not as aggressive.
Yeah.
They're not the same.
There'd be
I mean, if you got close to them,
yeah,
especially during, like right now, which is called the rut, which is when once a year they get laid. So once a year, they grow these giant antlers and they get ready to fight. Those antlers are not to fight off predators. They're to fight each other.
Oh.
Yeah. They go to war.
Fight another dude.
Yep. They go to war for pussy.
Wow.
They smash each other for chicks.
Really?
Craziest animal of all time.
That's wild.
They scream, man, like a Lord of the Rings sound. It's like...
Oh, my God.
Yeah, and then the females go... Meow, meow. They like let out this sound like, come give me some dick. And they're like, I got some dick.
And is he yelling so she'll come to him?
Yeah, he's yelling so she'll come to him. She's mewing, so here, you listen to this. Hear it. This is from YouTube. Terrifying elk scream. This is what they sound like. That looks just like the one. It gets louder than that, though. Is that all it's got? Or does it just keep going?
He's adorable.
Yeah, that's not too loud. That's it? That's weak.
Look at that big-ass rack.
Whoever put that video up, that is a lie.
Yeah.
That is not terrifying.
That's not terrifying.
You're scared of that bitch? You better stay home.
If you're in your tent at night and you heard that, you'd be a little scared.
See if you can find a better one, because there's some awesome one. Amazing elk bugle.
So you were in one spot for a couple hours after you heard him?
For this one, we spotted him in the distance. We spotted him on a hill with binoculars, and then you got to play the wind. You got to get close to him. You got to figure out which way the wind is blowing.
So he doesn't smell you?
Yeah, the wind changes as the day goes on. Because the ground heats up. What is this? Isn't that crazy? How about that?
That's scary.
This is moose going to war in Alaska.
Moose battle.
They go to war like right on people's lawns and shit, fuck up their cars.
Jeez.
I mean, they're so big. A moose is like twice the size of an elk.
Twice the size?
Oh yeah, mooses get to like mooses to pieces.
My Mises. They get really big.
They get to like 1,800 pounds.
Holy cow.
They're huge. They're so
Wow.
big they don't even look real.
Jeez.
I saw one that my friend Ben shot in Alaska, in BC, in British Columbia, and when it was walking across the road, there was like a dirt road that we were on. We saw it walk from one section of the forest into the next. It looked like, remember that War of the Worlds movie with Tom Cruise with the thing?
Oh my
with
God.
the giant legs.
Yeah.
It's like walking over cars. You see, like, holy shit.
Can you eat moose?
Oh yeah, it's
Yeah?
delicious.
Do you ever hunt for moose?
Yeah, I hunted for moose.
Oh,
once.
you did?
Once, yeah. At that time, yeah, I shot a moose. That's a moose right there. This is it.
Oh, really?
That's a young moose. That's why it doesn't have much antlers. It
Yeah.
doesn't have a big ass set of antlers.
What do you like? What's better to eat?
This is the moose right now. You really can't say it. What's better to eat? Moose is fantastic. Moose and elk are real similar.
They're
but
similar?
deer's really good too.
Yeah.
All wild game, if it's healthy,
Yeah.
and it's prepared correctly and taken care of correctly,
Yeah.
it's got an amazing taste to it. It's just really like nutrient dense, very
Yeah.
protein dense, very different than any other. And it's, again, if you want to eat meat, in my eyes, like this is the best meat for you and the best case scenario, because this is not like a factory farmed animal. And if you
Exactly.
don't kill it, its fate is sealed by mountain lions
Yeah.
or bears or wolves, depending on where it is,
Right.
or starvation or freezing to death. And it has a very short life.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, if you find a 9-year-old elk, holy shit, how is
Yeah.
that even possible?
Really?
50% of them in grizzly bear areas, they get killed by bears when they're babies.
That's a high
Yeah,
percentage.
they're fawns. 1 out of 2 fawns get killed. Deer fawns too in a lot of grizzly bear infested areas.
Wow.
Yeah.
I tried making that elk steak that you gave me, and I messed it up.
Yeah, well, you gotta cook it very lightly. You don't want to like cook it. You should use a meat thermometer. I'll give you.
It wasn't
a whole
long.
Thing.
I did it short amount of time, but
What
it
was wrong?
I think you said that there's some layer that
Oh, the silver skin. Yeah, the fascia.
I didn't take that off.
Well, I gave you a wrapped one that was from the butcher. What was it? A roast or a steak? Like what
It was like a steak.
Do you remember what? See what is it? There's a white
It's like
film that they keep on sometimes to sort of retain moisture, and when you see it, it's like the fascia on the outside of the meat, and you have to slice that off.
it wasn't like a real visible thing.
Yeah, it's really thin, and sometimes
Right.
it's in between the structure of the muscle. You got to find it and cut it out or eat around it.
Gotcha.
It's just a different kind of animal.
The taste was good. But it was just very chewy.
That's that part you got to cut out. That's all it is.
right. It was good though. The ground
Oh yeah, that's the
Stuff
best.
was-
Like to make for burgers and chili and all kinds
with
of stuff.
eggs in the morning.
Yeah. Oh, it's fantastic.
Oh, it's so good.
And again, you don't have to worry about any bullshit. There's no hormones.
Yeah.
By antibiotics.
That's the worst part. Like,
And it's an animal that lived wild.
I don't
It's
like the idea of just blindly ordering meat like when I'm out, because of not knowing where
uncomfortable.
it came from or not knowing,
Even worse. How about knowing?
Yeah.
Even worse. It's like you think about like what the animal was.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
It's
Suffering.
we're in a weird place where we're jammed into these boxes of people. You know,
many people.
Giant fucking populations, and
It's
you got to get
huge.
these people food, and so they don't want to know.
They
don't want
don't.
to know where it came from.
Nope. No, I know. Think about how many people are looking for lunch
Yeah.
every day. I mean, how do you feed this number of people?
Yeah, go to a pastrami, a sandwich place, get a fucking big corned beef with Swiss and mustard. And you're sitting there with a friend, eating at Jerry's Deli, having
Yeah.
a great time, eating
Right.
some fries. Thank you,
Thank you.
bye.
Yeah. What
You
the
have
hell
no
happened?
thought whatsoever to the whole process of what makes corned beef. How do you get that?
Where'd that come from?
Where is that?
Yeah. No thought. No thought at all.
Dude.
It's creepy.
We're
yeah.
fucking weird, man.
But what do you do? There's so many of us.
You can't do anything. Like, there's no way. Well, you can obviously do something, but I'm saying, like, the situation that we're in right now, it has to be, like, resolved, but it can't be resolved instantly. Because to try to get all these people some sort of ethically raised animals, pasture-fed animals that aren't forced to eat some shit they're not supposed to eat, so they're unhealthy.
Yeah.
To get your vegetables all free of pesticides, but also a high yield. You protect them from insects and pests and bullshit and disease. And
don't you feel like it's going to have to be like there's this new, I think it's called Better Burger.
Oh, like, that's like a plant-based burger?
Yeah, that almost looks like it's bleeding. Like it actually has like a like.
Have you tried it?
I haven't tried it yet, but people have been talking about it a lot lately.
Don't confuse farm-raised plants with not having any consequences, though. That's another problem that people have when they look at like grain in particular,
right?
And they look at this idea of like grain being completely ethical. I'm not saying don't eat grain,
right?
I'm saying if you look at those gigantic combines that chew up all that grain, and when you go over those fields after they've been freshly cut, you see vultures,
right,
all over circling because there's a ton of fucking things that got killed in those blades.
Right. You mean rodents and
rabbits and all kinds of shit. Occasionally fawns. You know, if someone fucks up, and fawns apparently will when they're scared, when they're really young, they just stay put when they're scared, and they can get run over by shit.
But how are you going to feed 7 billion people? Like, don't you feel like
here's the key, man. Preservatives. Without preservatives, like everybody wants everything to be natural and organic, which is totally true. But without preservatives, it's very difficult to get supplies of shit. And like stockpile things and to have things in surplus. I mean, without other than grains, and beans, and canned things.
Yeah.
You'd have to can everything, but a lot of like shipping and how we move stuff around, and how long we want stuff to sit on the shelves, and how long we want stuff to stay fresh, and want to avoid mold. By putting stuff in that avoids mold, it also fucks with the natural gut flora that we have.
Right. In our bods.
Dude, I'm like a scientist.
You
I have no idea what I'm talking about.
But don't you feel
I'm just repeating shit I read.
But isn't it crazy how passionate people... Like, I talked about that I was ate like a vegan for a couple of years on my podcast. We got more hate comments. Like, people are so... like passionate, like screw you eating that way. What do you mean? I was eating that way. I wasn't saying you have to eat that way, but there is like an anger if you show them a different way of living or eating, just eating.
Well, they look at you as a person who's responsible for the death and suffering of animals.
Right.
Yeah. That's what it is.
Right.
And they wanted to show that they are in a better moral position, and they feel genuinely outraged by your eating meat.
But it's the other side, too. If you say that you ate like a vegan, meat eaters come at you and say, who the hell do you think you are? Yeah.
Oh, you gay, bro? How long you been eating dicks?
Isn't it weird?
It is weird.
Like, who do you care about?
Well, the meat eaters, it doesn't make any sense. The meat eater ragging on the vegan, to me, doesn't make any sense at all. Unless it's just like... You ever meet a woman that is just so mad at men because she's ran into a few fucked up men, and they're like, you can't even talk to them? You're like, all right, you know, people just trying to be nice to you. Like, you won't let that happen. Like, every man is shit.
Right.
It's sort of like, I feel like maybe some meat eaters that shit on vegans, they get mad because vegans are so proselytizing. It's such a common thing to be a proselytizing vegan.
Right.
That meat eaters like almost like attack first,
right?
You know,
like screw you. You're not going to make me feel bad about what I do.
Yeah, but then there's a legit thought point that could be made that the people that are a lot of the people maybe that are shitting on vegans and veganism, they're doing so because they don't want to address their own complicity in the suffering of animals, and they don't want to think about it. You make me think about it. I just want to go to Carl's Jr. and get that fucking bacon jalapeno cheddar thing with. You know, there's that too.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't deny. Again, it's not. There's no absolute. It's not one or the other.
Yeah.
It's very possible that there's a bunch of shit going on.
Yeah.
But the idea that you could get mad at someone for eating vegan, that seems crazy.
It does seem crazy, but I think that people are so connected to what they eat that it brings up this.
Yeah. It's a team thing.
Yeah, right.
It's like we were talking about. It's along the same line. I mean, how many goddamn vegans out there have the word vegan in their Twitter profile or their Facebook profile or their Instagram profile? It's true. Jesus fucking Christ.
Right, you're wearing it like a
badge of honor.
Right.
Yeah. And they feel like they're going to help the world with this whole plant-based.
Right.
Know?
Yeah.
But if you wrote like meat eater, Tom Papa, meat eater on the...
Yeah.
You know, unless you run a TV show like Meat Eater with Steve Rinella on the Sportsman's Outdoor Channel.
Nice.
Unless you're doing that,
Yeah.
you would never do that, right?
No.
But you could write plant-based. You know, like, hey, plant-based, I'm plant-based. You know, people write that in their profile all the
They
time.
do.
Vegan, happy vegan.
Yeah.
I'm the healthy vegan.
Yeah, this is
I'm
me.
the fit vegan.
I want you to know what I am and what I stand
Yeah.
for.
Athletic vegan. Like, there's so many people that have that in their name profile. It's so obvious what you're doing.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
some of them think,
I just
no,
want to be
man,
part of a team. I just want to be part
promoting
of
a
it.
healthy lifestyle. I'm promoting what's going to save the world. I'm promoting, and I know they believe that.
Uh-huh.
I know they believe that, but I think we tend to look at like the entire thing, right? We tend to look at the entire group of people like, we have to stop eating meat. Look at what we're doing to the environment.
Yeah.
Well, some of us definitely don't have to eat meat. You could do whatever you want.
Right.
And we should all look at factory farming and say, this is despicable.
Yeah,
and this
disgusting.
is horrific that we've allowed our civilization to accept this
Yeah.
in our inside of our borders, right?
Mhm.
That this is a barbaric practice.
Yeah.
And it's terrifying because there's a complete denial of like the natural order of life. Instead, you're like, no, I'm gonna just capture this life and cage it up and then shoot it when it's ready.
Yeah.
Like, woo, that way it stays tender because it doesn't move. And you're like, woo, this is
Yeah.
dark.
Yeah.
To me, what makes sense to me, and everybody has their own thoughts on this, what makes sense to me is to just go out in the wild and get it yourself if you can.
Yeah.
Everybody can't.
No, I know.
People don't have the time.
Right.
And I understand that too.
Yeah.
I get that. I'm not telling anybody what to do, but for me, I was at a point in 2012 where I was trying to decide if I was going to be a vegan or vegetarian.
Yeah?
I would lean towards vegetarian because I don't think there's anything wrong with free-range eggs and things along those lines. And
Yeah.
and I don't think there's anything wrong with catching fish either. So maybe I'd be like a pescatarian.
Right.
But what I wanted to avoid was the factory farming thing is fucked up.
It is completely.
So then I started hunting. I was like, it's going to be one or the other.
Uh-huh.
And once I started hunting, I was like, oh, this is the way.
Right.
Because this is exciting and crazy and wild, and it puts you in tune with nature in this crazy way. And you have this deep, intense respect for wild things that I never had before. I didn't think about the management of wildlife or the resources of the land that we have, like
Yeah.
public land, and that these animals roam these areas, and these areas have to be supported with money, and that money comes from hunting tags and a tax on sportsman's gear and sporting gear. And,
Right.
you know, anything hunting gear related, they pay a giant sum of that money that goes towards conservation. It's a big tax.
Right.
I think it's like 11%.
Wow.
Yeah. So this is like what supports that and all the licenses and everything that supports the fish and wildlife management
Right.
of this country,
To
of all
protect
this
it.
wild game. And
Yeah.
and that's why there's more deer in this country than there's been since Columbus landed. There's more deer in this country than when Columbus landed. Stop
Is
and
that
think
true?
about that. Yes, it is. More white-tailed deer in this country than there ever was before. And then there's other animals that they had almost extirpated because of what they used to call market killing.
Uh-huh.
Market hunting they used to do at the turn of the century back when they didn't have refrigerators. They would just took advantage of these wild animals roaming around. They would hire assassins essentially to go out,
Right.
shoot these animals and sell the meat. And they almost wiped out all the elk. They almost wiped out all the deer. They almost wiped out everything.
Jeez.
So at one point in time, before Fish and Wildlife Management Company started managing all this stuff,
Uh-huh.
there was a severe problem with the lack of wildlife and the possible impending extinction crisis. But since then, they've repopulated elk in a lot of areas. They repopulated deer almost everywhere
Yeah.
it was before.
There's a big, I have family in New Jersey, and there's deer all over the place. And I always thought it was because there was so much development that the deer have nowhere to go.
Well, it's because there's no predators. And New
Right.
Jersey has more predators now than ever before. It's really New Jersey
Oh,
has
yeah?
the densest population of black bears in the country.
Really?
Yeah. So those are the predators that control the deer population. But a lot of times that's not enough food for them. And then the encroaching population, they find out about garbage cans and things
Right.
like that, and then they become a giant problem.
Right. Yeah, because there's also the densest populated with humans.
Well, it is, but it's not. See, New Jersey has a lot of really rural areas that a lot of people
Mm-hmm.
aren't really thinking about. They're not aware. There's a ton of wildlife in New Jersey.
Yeah.
People only think about like Newark.
Newark.
And,
Yeah.
which is where I was born.
Yeah.
You know, they think of like northern New York, New Jersey rather, which
Right,
is close
Bergen
to New
County,
York.
that's where I was born.
But southern New Jersey and like there's
And
a lot
west, the whole west.
Oh, it's all fucking crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy rural out there.
Yeah. My brother-in-law started similar to what he started thinking about how he's going to get his food and stuff, and he started hunting deer. And because it's in New Jersey, there's all these deer, so
They're
he goes
everywhere.
out. He gets like 2 a season.
Yeah.
And it feeds his family for the year.
Yeah. And it's
amazing.
Look, it is first of all, you're controlling a population that needs to be controlled because there's a ton of accidents. 2 million car accidents in this country last year. People hitting deer. And 150 people died.
2 million from hitting deer?
Yeah, in this country alone.
Jeez.
Yeah.
That's crazy
Well,
high.
unless you want to bring mountain lions and wolves everywhere, you have to figure out a way to control those things.
Right.
One of the best ways to control that also contributes to wildlife management funds is hunting, because they pay
Right.
for hunting tax. See, it's all very counterintuitive because we assume that people who hunt don't like wildlife, right? Oh, you don't like it. If you
It's
liked
the
it, you would
total
leave it
opposite.
alone and
Yeah.
let it live its life, man.
Right.
But yeah, but the problem is we've set up highways and these cities, and like you can't just leave it alone now. We've already interfered
Yeah.
in nature to a point where we've altered gigantic swaths of land to suit our bidding. So you either want to regress
Right.
away from technological. So the people that drive Tesla saying this are the most crazy.
What?
Oh, sorry. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
people who want cities and want technology, but they don't want management of wildlife. You don't understand.
And they don't even
It's not
understand it.
even
They've never
possible.
been out there.
The city's not even possible unless you manage wildlife.
Right.
Because if mountain lions and bears start moving into Pasadena and start killing people,
Right,
you're going to need
exactly.
to manage them. If deers are everywhere and everyone's crashing into cars, you're going to manage them. What are you going to do? How
Right.
are you going to manage them?
Right.
You know, well, humans shouldn't play God, man. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, well, just go outside and hope you don't get eaten. Good
Yeah.
luck.
No, I would say a high percentage without knowing anything of people that hunt love the outdoors, love being out there. But then you have those stories like you were saying with the Ted Nugent where people just kind of come in with their guns and shoot and get drunk and go off.
Ted Nugent doesn't drink. He doesn't do that, but he is a very boisterous right-wing type character. But there's
No,
a
I'm
lot
saying
of-
the guys who came in and just shot his bucks and split.
those guys. With
Yeah,
him,
yeah, yeah.
I don't know if they were drunk or just crazy.
They were drunk.
Okay.
They were all cracked up,
They were
methed up.
Yeah, they were on crank.
They're
That
cranked
old
up and
school
going around and killing things.
bathtub crank.
Well, I hope this discussion doesn't dissuade you from going to Musso and Frank's like gentlemen in our suits.
we have to do what we got to do.
A martini and a steak
pray
once a year.
for all those cows.
Once a year.
But this meat that I ate last night that I shot yesterday morning and ate that night, maybe the best thing I've ever eaten in my life.
Really?
Fucking phenomenal.
I saw the picture on Instagram, that one.
Yeah, phenomenal. So rich with nutrients.
I feel healthy
man.
just looking at those pictures.
Dude, it's so good.
Oh my God.
So rich with nutrients.
So how did you cook that?
I cooked it on. I have a pellet grill.
Right.
It's called a Yoder. There's a bunch of really good ones. Traeger makes a really good one.
Right, you told me
Green
about
Mountain Grills makes a really good one. There's a bunch of companies that make them. I cook it at 275 degrees until it hits an internal temperature of 125 degrees. Then
It's not so long, right?
No. Then I take it off and then I heat up a cast iron skillet. I've tried a bunch of different ways, but this is the method that works the best for me, that I like the best. I heat a cast iron skillet very, very hot, and then I put some grass-fed butter in the cast iron skillet, and then I sear the outside and put a crust. So after the internal temperature is already 125 degrees, I cook it real quick.
So
like less
off the
than a
pellet,
minute. Yep.
into the pan,
Into the
which is
pan.
on the stove top,
Yeah.
and
hot
just
as
sear
fuck.
it.
Yeah, like maybe less than a minute each side.
Oh, really?
Like maybe like 45 seconds maybe each side, just to get a little crust on that.
Nice.
And it just is the perfect combination of the outside and the inside is very rare like but warm.
That's like when you take a bite of it and you just start pounding the table.
Oh, so good. And it makes you like feel physically good.
Yeah.
Not like oh good, you're a big man, you killed an animal. That's not what I mean. I mean like your body responds to the nutrients in the meat in almost like an instantaneous way. And part of it could be the thing that's very different than going to Jerry's Deli and getting that pastrami is that there's a incredible, deep, immediate connection with that food, especially for me that day.
Yeah.
Knowing that I shot that morning.
How did you get it? Doesn't have to go to the butcher and
No,
be...
we take parts of the body off. Like you take the back straps and the tenderloins, which are like very easy to manage cuts. And then the butcher shop will cut steaks out of the back legs and the hams and
Gotcha.
make roasts and things like that.
Gotcha. So what was that piece that you had last night
It was the tenderloin.
that you just took with you?
Yeah, well, I took a bunch of it with me. I
Right.
just put it in a cooler, a Yeti cooler, and put ice in it and shit. But dude, it's the total opposite of going to a burger place where you just
Yeah.
go, yeah, can I get a double-double? Yeah, onions, fries,
Yeah.
large Diet Coke too, please. Right, you get that, and it's
Yeah.
great. I mean, it tastes good and everything like that.
Sure.
But there's no connection.
Nothing.
Whereas
There's
this
no
is
thought.
This insane connection, and it's really difficult to accomplish.
Yeah.
To shoot a elk with a bow and arrow.
That's crazy.
It takes years and years of practice, and I still suck at it compared to like a really good archer and a really good hunter. I'm still constantly practicing.
Yeah.
Constantly trying to
No, I mean,
evolve it.
like if I were to get into hunting and go out there, I'd have to take a gun because otherwise
Yeah.
I'm going to be shooting it in its eye.
Even that, you have to learn how to shoot a gun properly. That's
Right.
not. It's not. People think it's easy to go shoot an animal with a gun. Good
Yeah.
luck getting close to one.
Right.
If you don't know what the fuck you're doing, you could luck out and
Yeah.
wander into a deer's not paying attention and shoot him.
Right.
But most of the time, no. Like most of the time, you have to get within a couple hundred yards of them. You have to. If the wind is wrong, they smell you a mile away. They
Right.
fucking bolt immediately.
Yeah.
We stink.
Do we?
We smell terrible. When animals smell us,
Yeah.
I don't know. I would wish science could figure out what it is that hits an animal's nostrils when they smell a person. But like a deer, they're like, fuck this. They're gone.
Really?
Yeah, the wind hits the back of your neck. Like say if you're, like winds change.
Right.
It's like say if you're looking at these animals and you're trying to make a stalk on one and then the wind is blowing in your face. You're like, this is perfect. They can't smell me because the wind's in my face. But then as you get closer, the wind can shift.
Right.
And sometimes the wind swirls and you feel it on the back of your neck.
And they
you see
just-
the animals perk up and they're like, fuck.
Right.
And they're gone.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
It's crazy.
Because they're thinking about cats. That's what they're thinking about. They're thinking about smelling a cat.
Right.
When that scent hits them.
Yeah, this weird human scent.
The human thing's bad too. I think we probably have our own unique danger smell.
Yeah.
But the evolution is not to avoid humans. We've only been here a couple hundred years. The evolution of the elk is most likely to avoid predators, cats and bears. So that smell, they smell a predator. And they're
Right.
like, fuck this. You know?
And go.
Imagine the breath of a grizzly bear. And the wind hits you.
Oh my God.
Oh Jesus! if you're a fucking deer, you're like Jesus.
I saw a coyote the other day out on my neighbor's lawn. It was like a husky. It was a big ass. Looked like a wolf.
It's probably a coy wolf. Do you know those are happening?
Huh?
There's coyotes. Well, here's the thing. There was a guy named Dan Flores that I had on the podcast.
Yeah.
He wrote this book called Coyote America. Fascinating book about the history of coyotes in America.
Oh,
I
yeah?
fucking absorbed that book. It's so good.
Really?
Oh, it's amazing because it's so crazy. There's all this shit that I didn't know. One of the things is that a coyote is a wolf.
It is a
It's
wolf.
a small wolf. It's a small species of wolf.
Came
and that's
from the
why
wolf.
they interbreed with wolves.
Oh.
No problem. Every wolf except the gray wolf. The gray wolf left America for so long and went to Africa and became like jackals and all these different dog species over there.
Right.
But all the dogs that we have, all of them came from wolves. All of them. And
All of our
them-
dogs? My
all of our
dog?
dogs, every dog. And they all can breed with a wolf.
Really?
All of them. Yeah. So, and the coyotes, they breed with different, like a lot of coyotes, like what percentage gray wolf, what percentage red wolf. Like they're separate species, but they're all the same thing genetically. Like every dog, when they trace the DNA of a dog, they give all of them come from wolves.
Really?
Yeah.
So
When a
my
coyote
little
makes a
black
wolf,
lab?
the coy wolf. Yeah, your little black lab at one point, who knows when
Yeah,
the fuck
way
they started
back.
that process, was a wolf. So these coy wolves, you see the one in the black? That's the coy wolf.
Right.
That it's like a combination of like a wolf and a coyote.
That
But
might-
meanwhile, even coyotes, though, this guy Dan Flores was saying, are kind of wolf. That's why it works in the first place. Because they don't, like if something like a tiger fucks a lion and they make a liger, that liger can't have babies. But because they're totally different species. But a tiger can fuck a lion and get it pregnant.
There's
So
a
look at
real
that thing. That
liger?
looks like it's about to talk to you. Like, hey, Billy, where are you going? This is not the woods for you.
I wouldn't go
It's
this
dangerous
way.
out here, buddy. Let me get you back home to your parents. Hold on. Here comes a bear. I'm protecting these kids, you fuck.
Dude, you smell.
Yeah.
You smell terrible. Get out of here.
So what you're seeing is larger coyotes.
This was a big coyote.
Yeah.
It was big. I was like, oh my God.
He
No
might
wonder
just
our
be a big
cats are
coyote,
missing.
though. He might just be a regular coyote that's big.
That's just
Ate
big.
a lot. They eat
Yeah.
a lot of food out here, man.
Man, mostly pets.
It's a lot of pets.
A lot of pets.
Yeah, a lot of pets.
Man.
But believe me, we got it light. Deal with coyotes as opposed to those people in New Jersey that are dealing with bears.
Yeah.
People don't know. People that live outside, like go to that video from Far Rockaway where these two 500-pound bear, I might be exaggerating, 500-pound bears are wrestling and fighting in the street, knocking over mailboxes.
In New Jersey?
And cars stop their engine. And if I'm exaggerating, it's not by much. Look at these two things.
Oh, man.
Look at the size of these fuckers, dude.
Looks like my sister's house.
But look how they fall down and they knock shit over. They slam. Look at they knocked over that fence post. Look at the size of these fuckers.
God.
And they're fighting over territory.
They don't attack people, though.
Sure they do.
They do? Rockaway, New Jersey.
A kid in Rutgers was killed a couple of years ago. A kid in Alaska was killed by a bear who was on... Look at them go to war.
God, they're big.
A kid in Alaska was killed. He was on a race. He was on a trail race.
No.
16-year-old kid. He called his mom, said a bear was following him.
Oh, my God.
And then
and it got him?
the bear got him. They found the bear protecting the kid's body. Look at the size of that fucker.
That's huge. I thought black bears were small.
No, that's bullshit. They're huge.
I thought they were small.
How small do you think they were?
I thought they were like smaller than that.
Well, they
like
come
half the
out
size of that.
When they first are, when they're babies, and they keep growing,
And the
they
little
get really
cubs?
big.
The ones at the jug band.
They get huge, man. They
Wow.
get huge. They get to be like 8 feet tall.
Jeez.
Yeah.
So what's the predator for the black bear in New Jersey?
Exactly. Hunters.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's it.
Bears don't have any predators.
None.
Well, the only predator to a bear is another bear, which they do kill each other a lot.
Right.
And they eat each other a lot, especially babies.
Jeez.
They eat a lot of babies.
They do?
Ooh, yeah, a lot of babies.
Gooey.
Yeah, how about this guy? He's riding his mountain bike, and he sees that bear, and he fucking falls down. He's like, Jesus,
We don't have them out here?
look at this. Panic, Jesus.
Whoa.
You ever see the one where the guy hits the bear in his car, and he fucking screams, holy fuck!
Oh, no.
He's driving his car down this road, going like 35 miles an hour, and this bear jumps out last minute. Boom! Hits the car, and the bear goes flying, and then runs off into the woods.
Oh, my God.
Probably died.
Yeah.
But watch this.
Slowly.
Watch this. This is crazy. Yeah. Watch this shit. He's driving his car.
Cruising along.
Just having a good time.
So I kind of
Here I am.
major road.
You know, just driving.
Oh! Oh! Oh, my God.
That's not even the one.
It went flying.
That's the Daily Mail one.
And then ran into the woods.
Yeah, there's another one that happens even quicker. This is a little different because it's got a guardrail. The other video is there's a bunch of trees to the side. This is it. Yeah, North Carolina. Watch this one. Oh, I'm just driving along, thinking about the time when white people used to run the world and slavery was legal.
Oh, my God. That thing's huge.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I just hit the shit out of a fucking bear.
I said the same thing.
Rewind that
Oh,
again.
man. Oh, man.
Rewind that again. Oh my God, that's insane.
Yes. I'm gonna go home and smoke a fucking huge fucking. Oh my God! Oh my God, I just hit the shit out of a fucking bear.
That couldn't be any better than if somebody narrated over an accident like that.
Oh, that's
I'm gonna
terrible.
go home and smoke a fucking big bowl.
I missed that part. Oh, my God. That is scary. I just hit a bear.
They're huge, dude.
My sister-in-law just hit a deer. She's just like going like a, Bergen County, like
Yeah.
not a rural part.
My friend Cam lives in Oregon, and one of the guys in his neighborhood died because someone in front of him hit a deer. And the deer went flying through the air, and his car was behind it, and the deer landed through his windshield
Oh,
and
my
killed him.
God. Jeez.
Fuck.
It's just, flying bone. I mean,
And then
it's-
here's the angry vegan argument. So you just want like all these animals to go away so you can continue destroying the world with your stupid fucking car, man. Is that what you're saying? So yeah, there shouldn't be any wildlife because it inconveniences you. How about it's their land, man? How about it's theirs? Well, then you couldn't be
Then we don't-
talking to me because there'd be no computers.
And we
Okay,
can't
'cause
live
if it was
here.
their land, you wouldn't survive. We carve off swaths of it for our own, what we decide the cities are ours. No, man, the cities aren't even real, man. This is something we built over their sacred burial ground. This is where the bears used to bury their young, man.
Yeah.
And talk to each other in an ancient language we don't understand anymore.
We can all, look, we all have our own little fantasy worlds.
Yeah. Well, the anthropomorphization, that thing that Disney movies did, but they made animals talk.
Yeah.
That fucked people up.
It really did.
Fucked us up as children.
It really did.
It really did.
Yeah. No, I know.
I mean, people think that's a joke. I'm joking around. I'm being dead serious.
No, I watch. My kids are vegetarians because my wife
pussies.
is.
What?
And no, a big part of it was seeing them as people, like
Yeah.
seeing them with a little bow tie, or like
Yeah.
it really has an effect. Of
Of course,
Yeah.
especially when you're a little baby.
yeah.
When you grow up watching Yogi Bear or watching, Foghorn Leghorn. Or
Yeah.
any of these
But
cute
as a
animals.
child, when I was watching that stuff, my mom was also making amazing meals at the same time. So it was
Didn't
like I
sink
did
in.
not connect it. No, Yogi was Yogi, and Mom just made lasagna.
There's a real problem with representing something. I mean, look, it's entertaining. There's nothing wrong with that for us as an adult.
Yeah, and they're
but as
fun.
a child, it puts the idea in your head that these things are something other than what they are.
Right.
Not that there's anything bad with what they are. What they are is amazing. Even predators. Like I wouldn't want predators wiped out. I think bears and wolves, they're fucking awesome, man. It's crazy to see too. And
Oh no,
be
and
around them.
Yeah, and look, I mean that's why the factory farming thing is so gross.
Yeah.
There's a consciousness to animals. I mean, my dog,
Oh yeah,
has
for
a
especially dog.
sensitivity and a love, and I
Yeah.
mean you make those animals suffer. I mean that's
Exactly.
that's bad news.
Well, the other thing is that animal, especially dogs, they have developed this intense sensitivity and connection with people over thousands and thousands of years of
Right.
having this weird symbiotic relationship with us.
Yeah.
To the point where you get like I have a golden retriever.
Yeah.
Dude, this is the sweetest dog I've ever had in my life.
Yeah.
He's just a big old snuggle bunny.
Yeah.
He's a baby. I mean, he's the sweetest thing.
Yeah.
Like occasionally he plays a little too rough and everybody gets mad at him. But it's
Right.
like nothing.
Yeah.
He's such a sweetie.
Love bucket.
Like when I come home, that dog, he runs around me in circles, then drops onto his back, and I start rubbing his belly.
Yeah.
And then I sit down, and he climbs on top of me and circles around and kisses my face.
Just
and,
licking like
and then
crazy.
plops on me like with his legs up in the air. And he wants me to rub his tummy.
Yeah.
He's the best.
It's the best.
He's so sweet.
You know, they
man.
did there was an article the other day, which I didn't get too deep into, but that this guy trained dogs so they would be calm enough so you could put them in an MRI. You could actually study their brains.
Oh, wow.
It was hard to do because dogs, they freak out, but you need them just to stay still like a human,
Yeah.
so you could study their brain. And they learned that a lot of the patterns of a dog's brain are similar to ours. Empathy and feeling for things
Yeah.
and like emotion of that it was so similar that it really showed like just genetically wired to feel and have emotion very similar to the way we do.
That's fascinating. You know what
Yeah.
else they're genetically wired to do? Kill chickens. Real problem.
Yeah. Do you have chickens?
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't know if he's killed one, but he definitely brought a dead one to me once.
Really?
Yeah, but I was like, did you kill this? Like, what the fuck happened? Because it didn't make sense.
What do you mean?
Because he didn't seem that aggressive with the chickens before. I think
Right.
it might have died. Like, they just die sometimes.
Sure.
They just die. You find them in their pen.
Yeah.
The chicken coop. They have this big ass, like a chicken house.
Uh-huh.
Sometimes you just find them in there dead. They
Oh,
just,
yeah.
they're
Is that where you get
chickens.
all your eggs?
Yeah.
It's great.
They don't live that long, But
Yeah.
but he fucking now that he's had one in his mouth and he's carried it around and I
Yeah.
found it. Now he wants to go near them all the time. I'm like, hey, fucker, cut the shit.
Can you train them not to do that?
Nah, sort of, yeah, but you got to be on it all the time.
Yeah.
It's got to be like a daily thing. Like he really likes chasing chickens.
Yeah.
He's like, what are you talking about? These are fucking chickens. You're supposed to chase chickens.
Joe, do you know these are back here?
Yeah,
Joe,
I
there's
mean-
a whole house of them.
Had this thing since it was a baby. Wants to chase chickens.
Yeah.
It's like it's in there, man. It's in the system.
It's instinct, of
Yeah.
course.
Oh yeah, dude, he's so happy too. When you catch him doing it, you're like, "Hey!" He just doesn't want to listen. It's like, no, whatever.
My dog, it's great. Black Lab. She's so sweet. Same thing. And because it's a vegetarian household, it was only when I don't make meat that often when I'm with the family because it's just kind of, it's kind of weird to be sitting there eating meat in front of them. So, but when I do, when we're alone, or sometimes when they're there, giving her some meat, she started to see me as the one thing in the house that gave me whatever that was. Yes, our relationship went to a whole nother level.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah. Now she
give her
looks at me
some
differently.
Meat with butter on it. They don't even bother chewing it. You ever see when you give them a
Gone
piece of
so
steak?
fast. It's gone so fast. I really feel like, no, enjoy that.
But if you give them dog food, they never react like that. They're like, yeah, I'll eat this. Hurry up, chew this shit down.
Yeah, you're calling it chicken. This ain't chicken.
Bullshit. I cut off a couple peaks of elk and put it in my dog's food. They go crazy. Looking for more of it.
Gone.
Smell it behind the bowl, under the bowl. It can't be gone.
Take your time.
Can't be
Enjoy
gone.
it.
It's too good. Instincts, man.
Yeah, it's in us.
It is a weird thing that we've created these animals. Not created them, but sort of bred them to the point where they become a part of the household.
Yeah.
You know, and they live with you, but they don't speak English. They
No.
know the rules. They know the rules.
Yeah.
And they could kill you, but they don't.
When your dog sometimes like is just like you face to face, you know, it's just licking you on the face, or you're just like, and you just see the teeth.
Yeah.
And you're like, this is kind of weird that my face is close to this jaw.
Yeah.
Thank God this thing is really nice because it could just bite me in the face right now.
That's why erratic dogs like Cujo are so fucking terrifying.
Yeah.
It's because they're a part of your family. Then all of a sudden something goes wrong. I had a dog when I was a kid that we got from the pound and it had distemper. And we had him for a couple of days, and it just kept getting worse and worse.
Oh,
and
no.
it was a Doberman Pinscher.
Oh, my God.
And it got to the point where it was growling and barking at us in the house. And it was just like scared of everybody and growling and barking.
Oh, man.
And we were talking to it, like, what's wrong? Like, what's wrong? Like, and then we brought it to the vet, and they were like, this dog's fucked.
Really?
It's got distemper. Yeah.
Is that like a chemical thing?
It's some sort of a disease they can get from other dogs.
Oh.
And a lot of times dogs that didn't have their shots, they get it. And it can make some dogs behave very erratically.
And you can't correct that?
I don't think they can.
Yeah.
Or at least they couldn't when I had a dog.
Right.
Here, canine distemper, contagious and serious viral illness with no known cure. Disease affects dogs and certain species of wildlife such as raccoons, wolves, foxes, and skunks. Common house pet, the ferret, is also a carrier of this virus.
Oh, my God. So that was in your house.
Yeah, well, it's not as bad as rabies, but for this one dog, whatever kind of distemper he had, it was major symptoms include high fever, reddened eyes, watery discharge from the nose and eyes. An infected dog becomes lethargic and tired and usually become anorexic. I had another puppy that had this as well, and his thing, well, he didn't have this, but he had something that gave him seizures, and they thought it was distemper. See, fits, seizures, paralysis, and attacks of hysteria. See, that was what my dog had. He had the hysteria part.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if he was lethargic. He was just sitting there, even though he was growling. It wasn't like he was trying to get us.
Oh,
but he wasn't doing
not
good.
Right.
Death may result in 2 to 5 weeks after the initial infection.
That's sad.
Yeah.
Do you have one dog?
I have 3.
You have 3?
Yeah.
Do you think it's mean to have one dog?
No. No, it's not mean if you're around the dog and you hang out with them.
Yeah, we hang with
them.
him.
Good time.
Gets a lot of love.
Dogs like dogs, though.
They do like dogs.
They're pack animals, you know?
Yeah.
They have a good time together.
Oh, my God. We had this little thing came over to the house.
Yeah.
The dog was so happy.
Yeah. My daughter's got a Chihuahua. And so the Chihuahua and the Golden get together and they go run around and play. And it's like they have the fucking best time. Like, it's a party.
It's constant.
Woo!
They could go for
Yeah,
hours.
they're just running around in circles, barking at each other.
I know. I mean, I'm like, it's a lot of work having a dog. And I'm like, one's enough. But when I saw them together, I had a little weakness. Like,
especially if you have a good sized yard where they can run around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's an okay size.
The crazy thing is that used to be a wolf. Even like an English bulldog.
Yeah.
Somewhere along the line, that was a wolf.
That was a wolf. They all come from that.
Yeah, and then the wolves like slowly got closer to us. By the campfire, we had food. We'd chuck a little food to him. He'd be cool to us. The other wolves, so back off. These guys got food. They're cool. They're cool. They're cool, man. And then they became more and more submissive, they think, over time.
Right.
The ones that were more submissive were more accepted, and they bred more, and then their ears started to flop.
Right.
They were more submissive versus like the ears up, like listening around for prey.
Right.
Instead, they became this thing.
Wow.
We came to know as dogs.
It's pretty great.
It's fucking strange, man.
It is strange. It is
they
weird.
didn't know that when they were before they
though.
started doing those DNA tests on dogs. They thought that they would find that dogs came from like a bunch of different wild canids, like a bunch of different wild dog species.
Yeah, that's what I would think.
Nope.
Yeah.
All from North America too.
Because they're so different looking.
Oh, it's crazy. I don't
Crazy
get it.
about.
Well, so are people though, right? I mean, that's the weird thing about
Yeah.
life. Life just it's one of the reasons why it's so easy for us to like gather up into these stupid tribes.
Yeah.
It's because visually we look so much different.
Right.
You know, I mean, people from South Korea look way different than people from Africa, and it's very different to not think of us all as the same.
Yeah.
So you tribal up with the people that look similar to you because you're scared of the other.
And not even the look. There's probably, like, within us, there's traits that you don't even know that you're recognizing. Like, when I'm around Italians, there's something about it that's, that's comforting.
For sure.
You know?
Yeah. That's why it's, like, really funny. Not funny, but it's really odd when, like, super light-skinned black people are like really radical black activists. You're like, hey,
Right.
are you making up for something here? Like, what's going on here?
Right.
Is this just how you actually feel, or you like really want to gain acceptance in this tribe?
Yeah.
Super hardcore. So
Every
you gotta,
tribe's been knocking you.
you have to like show your because it's one thing that a friend of mine said who's black. He was talking about black racism, and he was like, one of the weirdest racisms that I've had to accept is dark people versus like lighter black-skinned people.
Light-skinned,
And
yeah.
that light-skinned people will oftentimes be really racist to dark-skinned black people.
Interesting.
And I was like, really? He's like,
Jeez.
oh, yeah. There's a big difference.
Wow.
Big difference between how light-skinned black people feel about dark-skinned black people and vice versa. And it's like this
Wow.
dark-skinned black people racism within black people. I was like, whoa.
Yeah. That's a whole mindset that I
Well, it
could
just
never
shows.
try and understand.
But just give people enough time, and they'll eventually find a group to belong to.
Yeah.
That they, even inside the group, like if you ask
Right.
like the black people who are light-skinned, do they identify more with the dark-skinned black people or white people? They'd probably see more of the dark-skinned black people. This is obviously a great generalization, right?
Yeah, yeah.
About these people that have these issues with this thing.
Right.
But they probably, in comparison to white people, like, well, I'm not that. I'm not this
Right.
person.
Right.
I'm one of these. I'm more like that guy. But this guy's
Right.
not like me because, he's that and I'm this. And then this is my group and that's
Yeah.
their group. So even inside groups, we have these factions.
Yeah, yeah.
Hardline Republicans,
Right.
versus I'm more of on the libertarian side. Well,
Right.
I'm alt-right.
Right.
Exactly.
Exactly. Just check my profile. I'll let you know what it's all about.
I'm vegan athlete, super wonder person. I mean, that's really kind of what it is in a
Yeah.
lot of ways. I mean, there's good ideas behind all these things.
Yeah.
Notwithstanding, especially like when you're talking about idea, not race, right? Like good ideas behind being a vegan, even good ideas behind like a lot of right-wing Republican ideas. Like what they're trying to do is noble.
Right. Yeah. No. Absolutely.
In some cases.
Yes. It's the extremes. It's the extremes. It's saying that my team can never be wrong in any regard.
And it's just being on a team, period.
Yeah.
It's just there's a lot
People
you have
want
to
to
accept.
belong.
You got to accept a lot of bullshit if you want to join a team.
Yeah.
Billy dropped the ball, that fuck. Now we lose.
Screw that guy.
He's one of us. I didn't
Yeah.
even know Billy. Twat.
Get him out of here. That twat. Twat's the best word ever.
Yeah, twat's a great word. My
Twat
friend-
is so good.
That Sargon of Akkad guy was trying to tell me I was saying it wrong. It's not twat, that it's twat.
Twat?
Twat. But he's out of his mind.
Twat.
Because how do you say SWAT? Like SWAT team.
Yeah.
SWAT. You don't say SWAT, you fucking English cocksucker.
It doesn't have the
Shut your
impact.
mouth. First of all, the idea of English people telling us how to use their language is offensive.
That is really rude.
You can't tell me how to speak your language, English person.
Back off. We own it now.
My favorite variation of English, though, is Australian. Because it's a very distinctive version of English. It's not American.
Yeah.
It's
No.
distinctive.
Oh, completely.
Yeah.
They're off on their own island making up their own rules.
Like my friend Adam Greentree, who's, by the way, has the most exciting Instagram story in the world right now. He's been living by himself in the backcountry, bow hunting in Colorado.
Oh, yeah.
He totally struck out in Colorado. He was there for like 20 days.
I started watching because I heard you talk
He
about him.
bailed on Colorado, and now he's moved into the grizzly-infested mountains of, not only that, the grizzly-infested mountains of Montana, but not only that, he officially documented grizzly bears in Colorado, where people are saying there's no grizzlies in Colorado, and there's even a website
way.
that deals with it. It says that people who say they sighted a grizzly bear in Colorado, it's oftentimes like Sasquatch, like you think you saw it. No, he is an experienced outdoorsman who's been a bow hunter his whole life. He
Right.
knows what he's looking at, and he found several grizzly bears in the mountains, deep in the backcountry
And
of
recorded
Colorado.
it?
16 miles in, yeah. I mean, they're little blobs moving around in the background. It's hard to see. But they're big.
Yeah.
And he said that is absolutely 100% a fucking mountain grizzly bear. So they're moving into Colorado, too.
He's been in the woods a long time.
20 days. And now he's back. He got in a car. He rented a car. Took him a day. He drove into, I think, Wyoming or Idaho, whatever's connected to Montana. I think it's Wyoming. No.
Idaho.
I think it's Idaho. Yeah. He drove into Idaho, and now he's making his way down from Idaho into the like parks in Idaho, and he's hiking into Montana, into grizzly-infested backcountry.
And Wyoming. He's coming from the south.
It's fucking scary shit, man. There's grizzlies everywhere up there.
He has a family,
Yes, he does.
and he's just out in the woods.
Don't be scared, Don Papa.
I'm not scared. I'm
scared for
envious.
him?
I'm envious of how he gets out of his house to go to the woods for that
20
long.
days. 20 days plus.
I don't know
It's
if
gonna
my
be a full
I don't know
month.
if my wife would let me.
Well, if you were updating
I would love it.
If you're updating your Instagram story constantly. See, that's my theory as to why he's doing this. This way, he lets everybody know where he is all the time.
Oh.
Everybody knows he's okay. Versus like him just disappearing off the map for 30 days.
Right. It is so interesting that you could be out there and be able to film stuff and communicate and look at maps and
He's a savage. Not a lot of people could do it that way.
Yeah.
Even most bow hunters will tell you, like, man, I'll go for a backcountry camping trip for like 7 days by myself or
Yeah.
10 days, but this guy's just gone so deep. He's
and by yourself.
by himself.
That's the thing. I mean, even having one other friend makes a big difference.
He ran out of food a while back, so you could see him like getting skinnier and skinnier as time went on. Then he
jeez.
had to go into town to get more food.
Oh my
Yeah, he
god.
ran out of food. He's like, you can see it in his face. Like his
Really?
face is getting more gaunt. His eyes are getting more sunken in. It's like, whoa,
I saw him like exhausted at one point. He was
Oh,
just
yeah.
like laying back.
so deep, man. I mean, what he's doing. He had to filter water through a piece of a wet, like old rotting piece of wood.
Ooh.
He poured the because his filter was back at camp 16 miles away because he'd been getting so much fresh water that was pumping right out of the ground from
Right.
springs. You could just drink that. But when you come to a creek, like you have to take a chance.
Yeah.
Because it could be giardia, because beavers shit in the dam, and you get what they call beaver fever.
Oh boy.
And you shit your brains like rocket, projectile, broken fire hydrant diarrhea, just blah, blah, where your body's like, hey, fuckhead.
Yeah, I saw him taking a sip and saying, "I might regret this in a
Yeah.
couple days."
Maybe he did.
Oh man.
Yeah, he drinks a lot straight out of the ground.
And he
Takes a
just
lot of
does this
chances.
is his gig?
Well, he has a company in Australia, and he's kind of his own boss, so he gets to decide that he goes on the road for
Ah.
30 days at a time and do this.
Wow.
But he's a very famous professional bow hunter, too.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy Insta story if you're interested to see what
Yeah.
it's like for these guys that want to do these backcountry solo hunts. But it's there he is. Look at his face on the far left. He's
Yeah.
lost a lot of weight, man.
Yeah.
He had a little. He's gonna be shredded when he gets off the mountain.
Oh
He's
man.
gonna pose for a fucking calendar. He's a handsome fella, isn't he? Look at him.
Hey. It's so funny, like it's amazing about like just social media. It's like you watch him and he's like out in the woods by himself. Then
Yeah.
the next story is, hey, my show. I'm at my show at the Ice House. It's really having a good time.
I know.
So
he's
crazy.
He's pretty
These
hardcore.
different lives.
That yeah.
You know?
But I was gonna say their version of the English language is the best.
Yeah.
Because he'll say, you know, well, I've got me tent, I got me bow over here, I've got me water supply, I'm all good. Everything's me this, me that. That to me is like my favorite version of the English language. Like
Yeah.
English sounds slightly cooler than American,
Mm-hmm.
but Australian is slightly cooler than English. That's the most.
I don't
the
know if
best
it's
use of
cooler.
the English language.
Sounds a little reckless to me.
Do you think so? It's a reckless language.
Yeah,
Reckless use of the
they're
English?
all wound up.
Well, everything can kill them over there. They're wound up.
Yeah, they got to be wound up.
Fucking snakes and spiders and crocodiles, and they're surrounded by sharks.
They're all out there on their own.
They're
if
on
anyone
their own.
attacks them,
There's no one there.
No one's gonna help.
Yeah, I mean, how big is the Australian army?
It's like 25 people, I think.
Well, the whole place is only the amount of people. It's the same size as America, but the amount of people is the same as California, slightly less than California.
Oh, that sounds great.
Beautiful. Just drive around.
I was just saying this before to Jamie that I think living in LA, I just feel like I'm going to end up being the cranky guy that can't be around people.
Right.
There's so many people around us all the time.
Yeah.
It's exhausting.
It is, but it's also energizing, right? Like,
Somewhat, yeah.
Like when I come back from the woods, if I go somewhere, like especially camping,
yeah.
and then you come back to civilization, you kind of appreciate restaurants and
Yeah.
movie theaters.
Yeah.
Get some popcorn and watch a movie.
You just like being around it. Maybe that's
Yeah.
it. You just need breaks from it.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Yeah.
I think the best of both worlds is both worlds.
Right.
I think just living by yourself in the woods like the Unabomber, like what the fuck, dude?
I don't want to end up that way.
Yeah.
That's what I
I'm out here
start to-
alone with nature. Just
Yeah.
nature. No fucking phones, pussy.
Yeah.
What's going on
I
here,
can't do
Jamie?
that.
Total military personnel, 81,000. We have 81,000 military in my house.
I know.
Amount of military that we have
Yeah.
in America. What's the amount of military in America?
Oh my
let's,
God.
let's guess. Let's guess before we search. How
How
many
many people?
military in the United States?
Military?
Military members. We're not even going to include the Coast Guard. You have to include the Coast Guard. All right. Navy, Coast Guard, Marines, Air Force, Army.
4 million.
18 million. 70 million.
70.
I'm going crazy. No. 2.6. 2.3 rather.
Yeah, it wasn't so bad.
Total population 323. Well, they're not including Mexicans.
Oh.
323 million. And then total military 2,300,000. Wow. So less than 10%. You know what's interesting about that number, man? I remember when 250 million, when I was a kid,
Uh-huh.
the population was 250. I remember thinking, me and my friends were sitting around, we were in high school, we were like, 250 million.
Yeah.
How the fuck are there that many people?
Yeah.
We were like, wow.
That's so
250.
many.
Now it's almost 100 million more.
My God.
In the
It's
world, like billions
7
more.
billion.
But what was it then? I think in like the 80s when I was in high school.
Yeah.
I bet there was
3.5.
Yeah, I bet there was like 3.
Yeah, I
3
believe
billion.
that. We've learned to survive too well.
Exactly.
It's amazing. There's
'Cause we
so
got-
many people.
Because we got all this food. It's shipped into these cities.
And
a lot of that is
medicines.
factory farming and medicine.
And
Right?
we're living longer. Living much longer.
Longer.
So many people.
All this
During the
medicine.
last eclipse, that's what the stat that blew my mind. During the last time we had an eclipse, total
Mm-hmm.
eclipse like that on our continent, it was 100 years ago. 100 years ago, there were fewer people in the whole state of California than who live in LA today. Oh, it must have been nice.
Oh, it must have been glorious.
You could have got to the Comedy Store in like 10 minutes.
on a bike.
Yeah.
Just roll down Laurel
Oh,
Canyon.
it
No
would've been
worry in the world.
Oh, sweet. Oh, my
Like
God.
LA was like a small town.
So many damn people.
1917, there's 3 million people
Oh,
in California.
in the whole state.
That's way less than LA.
Oh,
LA's
my
like
God.
20 million. 3
Is
million
that
people in
amazing?
1917.
In the
It
whole
must have been amazing.
state.
And they were probably like, there's so many fucking people here.
Like, I
This is
can't-
so gross.
Right, I can't go to town one more time. Run into those assholes.
What is today Texas? What does Texas have today? Go to the very end here. Texas has 27 million. Canada, the entire country of Canada, 36 million.
Oh, my God.
California, 39 million. So California has more people than fucking Canada.
So I'm not going crazy. It's a real thing. I'm
it's
feeling
a real
it.
thing.
Yeah.
Well, that's also one of the reasons why California, or rather Canada, the people are so nice. They're not as overwhelmed.
Yeah. They're surprised to see you.
See that bear on the fucking California sign? You know
Yeah.
what's crazy? That bears like that are extinct in California.
What is that? That's
It's a
like
grizzly.
a grizzly.
They used to have grizzlies in California. In fact, the last grizzly that killed a man in California before they killed him was in Lebec, California. There's a guy that was the last guy killed by a bear in California. His name, I think, was Stephen Lebec. Something Lebec, Lebec.
Right.
And they named a town after him. He was the last guy in California to be killed by bears. We used to have
And when was that?
giant, huge bears.
In like the 1800s?
I think it was then. I think it was
Right.
the 1800s. But they killed him because they were killing all the people. Like they were killing us.
Right. It was us or them.
But meanwhile, it's them. We put on the flag. Like we won, but we miss you, buddy.
yeah,
So we'll put you on the flag.
We love you.
We loved looking at you, but you got to stop eating us, and so we had to shoot you all.
You know what's lame about that is it's similar to what happened with the Native Americans.
But it's not. A lot of people think it is. You know what killed most of the Native Americans in this country? Disease.
Smallpox.
Like a bunch of diseases.
Yeah,
90%.
That we brought to them.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
90% of them were killed, wiped out by disease.
Yeah.
I always thought we killed them all. We killed a lot of them for sure. Not we. I shouldn't say we.
I was just reading
I'm
this.
the grandchild of immigrants.
Yeah, I was just reading. Yeah, exactly. We were in Italy at the time, enjoying ourselves. There was the lake, the Tenaya Lake in Yosemite.
Yeah.
Is named after this Chief Tenaya, who we killed his son. We killed his son in front of him.
We should stop saying we.
I know.
Definitely wasn't us. I feel guilty.
I had that in my act for a while. My daughter's like, "Why did we do that?" I'm like, "Easy with the we." We were on Vespas and eating spaghetti. We're lovers. And then named the lake after him. Like, killed his kid in front of him, made him suffer, killed him, and then named the lake after him. It's like it absolves us of the guilt. And we're just like, oh, Tenaya, there was
There was some horrible, horrible shit going on back then.
Horrible.
All over the world. I mean, and even before that, like the accounts of what Columbus did when they encountered the natives, and then, they were trying to get gold out of these people and slaughtered these people.
Slaughtered.
So, I mean, it's a serial killer type shit.
Yeah.
I mean, we used to have Columbus Day. I guess we still do.
Not in California.
They're getting rid of it?
They voted it out. Yeah.
It's a good idea.
But in New York, Columbus Circle, and they still have someone defaced the Columbus statue in Central Park the other day.
People got to stop doing that, man. Just like you got to stop. You can't deface Genghis Khan's statue. Like, it's one thing to revere and worship these people, and we definitely shouldn't do that anymore.
Yeah.
But those statues are history. We should look at it, but understand what we're looking at.
Yeah.
But we're not worshiping a statue of Christopher Columbus, but it is a fascinating thing to know that this monster got in a boat and sailed across the ocean. If it wasn't for him, likely wouldn't be a whole population here, or him and the people that he went with.
I think you got to add some new statues.
Yeah,
that's new statues.
That's a good move.
Yeah, of other people that had a positive impact on stuff. You know
what's fucked up though about a lot of these Civil War statues that people are wanting to tear down now and destroy?
Yeah.
What's fucked up was when you look at when those things were built, those things weren't built like way before the Civil Rights Movement and they're a relic of an ancient past. No.
Right.
A lot of them were built in response to the Civil Rights Movement. So they really are racist in origin.
Yeah.
A lot of the Robert E. Lee ones and all that shit where people are like, we're going to take back the world and the South's going to rise again. And
yeah, no, they weren't around since the 1800s. It was like 1965.
Yeah. And a lot of them are made really quickly and shittily.
Yeah.
In response to the Civil Rights Movement, and that they were made out of like copper and bronze and shit because it was easier to do than stone.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's not good. No, we got to create some other statues.
It's like a visualization of the number of monuments that were erected and there's also...
These are all Civil War monuments?
Yeah.
Look at that shit. NAACP was founded. Giant spike in Civil War monuments.
Wow.
Look at that, man. That's crazy.
Yeah, it was a retaliation.
Red Summer race riots. Giant spike in Civil War monuments. Tulsa race riots. Giant spike in Civil War statues. That's nuts, man.
Yeah.
Like, you could track it.
There's a bigger version of this, too, I was trying to find right now, but
wow.
I just got this little chunk of it.
That's spooky.
Yeah.
Because no one's talking about that when they're talking about keeping these things up and they represent our heritage. Like,
yeah.
I understand what you're saying, but worshiping this is a real problem because you got to realize what was the motivation to put. Like, why is it okay though for me? Why do I look at it and go, I have a problem with this because they did it during the racist 1960s or during the early 1900s and the NAACP was created. I would accept it better if it was 200 years old instead of 100. Like, what's wrong with me? Like, why do I care?
Right. What do you mean? Why do you care?
I mean, why is it like? I mean, why is it more offensive that it was created by racists in the 1960s than if it was created by racists 200 years ago? Maybe it's because it's a direct line to people alive right now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's dirty.
It's dirty when you look at the actual spikes.
Yeah. George Wallace.
It jumped up during the assassination of Martin Luther King Jr. Woo!
When George Wallace is blocking the schools.
Woo! It jumped up.
A whole bunch.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Man. Detroit race riots. Boom! We got a little spike.
Yeah, hanging on to it. Not so fast.
Teams at war.
Yeah.
More teams.
Act out of kindness. That's not an act out of kindness. Well, that's not putting a statue up there out of love.
Do you ever think, though, that those people that were doing all this stuff back then, they really didn't have a direct connection with the world the way we have today. And then one of the reasons why we're seeing all these people tearing these things down now is because we all have a direct connection with each other, and we realize that, hey, these Civil War statues, they're fucking horrible.
Yeah.
Like, what the Civil War was horrible.
Right.
Like, saying that it's a part of your culture, this is horseshit. Like, no, this is a part of a terrible attempted genocide on black people, demonizing to the point where they were the other, and it was okay to enslave them for hundreds of years.
No, you could live in New York State and not have any idea really what was going on in the South at the time.
No, you don't understand. The Civil War was about economics.
Yeah.
I've seen that argument too, but I've seen that argument torn apart.
If there was social media back then, do you think slavery would have even existed?
No. And here's the thing. Nobody wants slavery today. If you do, you're a cunt.
Yeah.
And two, it doesn't mean that, like, when you guys define yourself by a war that you lost, and the war had a big part of what the war was about was slavery.
Yeah.
That's a giant problem.
It's a big problem.
It's a giant problem in how the world looks at us and looks at you and the way you look at yourself. Like, you're like justifying some of the most horrific shit in human history.
So far from kindness.
American history, yeah.
That's not out of kindness.
Slavery, they actually lived better. I've heard that argument.
Oh
they
my
actually
God.
lived better as slaves. Oh, gee, that's weird. How strange is it that people lived better when you fed them and they lived in fucking cages than when they were released with no skills and no education and couldn't read and had to repopulate?
Oh my God.
And in a country that they don't even... It's not even the country of their origin.
Yeah, as you're putting up a statue on your way out the door
of a fucking general who fought to keep slavery alive.
Yeah.
Woo.
No, let's move on.
It doesn't mean that the South isn't awesome, folks. It doesn't mean that you're not awesome.
Yeah.
You know?
But let's move forward. Stop with the teams.
Here's the problem, right? What do you do about old Leonard Skinner albums? That fucking flag. What do you do? What does that flag represent to the Dukes of Hazzard now?
Yeah, I know.
Right?
Yeah, I know. Old Neil Young.
It's tricky.
Yeah.
It's like all things. It's not that black and white. You can't absolute that. Because
No,
the
there
South
is-
has some awesome shit.
Well, you also don't want to. There is a danger in wiping out history so we don't learn from it. Like, you can't do that either. Like, you
Yeah.
can't just pretend this thing didn't exist and that there's
Right.
remnants of it still around. You need to be educated of. If we're going to learn from history, you need to educate yourself about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you can't just sweep it all under the rug and think, okay, if we don't see it, it didn't exist.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know.
And on that note, Tom Papa, let's bring this bitch home.
This cigar was so nice.
Very good, right? Very good
So
cigar.
great.
What's it called?
Oliva.
Oliva. Hopefully created by highly skilled, well compensated craftsmen and women. Craftswomen.
Are you you're going on the road for a bit?
On the road again.
Cranking it out?
I'm doing the Comedy Store Saturday night. I'm gone most of next week, and then I'm banging out a bunch of shows. Woo!
Nice.
October 6th, Vegas, Las Vegas, Nevada, ladies and gentlemen, at the motherfucking Mirage.
I'm going to be gone for about a month.
Where you going, bitch?
Everywhere.
TomPapa.com?
Yeah, that's where all my dates are.
Oh, shit.
Pacific
Tom Papa.
Northwest, the South, the Northeast.
And if you have not seen, Tom Papa is one goddamn hilarious stand-up comedian, so go out and see him live, you fucks!
I'm glad we got this in. This was a nice treat. I didn't think I'd see you for a while.
Fucking fun, man.
Yeah, always the best.
And I got some elk for you. Here we go.
You're the best.
Bye, guys. See ya.
Bye.
Girls, too. Bye, girls, too.